at 11:40 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
Well. Happy freaking New Year, huh? The 49ers falling yesterday, no big deal. But the Warriors, of course, they lost last night. More importantly, the Kings. What was that? Kyle Draper not with us today, but he's not ducking anybody. He's on the road with the team. He was very upset last night, as you may have seen, after the Kings lost. So we got Jay with us today. Jay Johnson. I don't know, Jay. How can a team that's 21-14 get embarrassed so often and so thoroughly?
Because I think just what you guys have said, or at least you, I'll say you. I think Drapes comes in there half glass full, as he should. And I think you do too. I don't want to take that away from you, Whitey.
All right.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. You're a half glass full guy, aren't you?
For the most part.
Okay.
Sure.
You have to think about it?
Yeah. I'm not sure what I am on the Kings right now.
Okay. And I think that's the question. I mean, that's the answer on the Kings, Whitey. Would you agree with me? I don't think the Kings know what the Kings are. I don't think the front office knows what the Kings are. I think the players believe, because they're the ones that have to play in the coaching staff as well. But I think if you really peel back some of the layers to some of the coaching staff, Mike Brown, probably Monty, think they would all say, we really don't know what we have in our bag. And I think that's part of it right now.
Yeah. Drapes is supposed to join us today, around 3 o'clock?
Yeah, a little after 3, pusher, give or take a few minutes here and there, depending on the flight of the Kings. It could be up and down on what time they pull in, the way they're playing right now.
I know.
I might have to do an extra 30 minutes of practice.
He had a rough day, huh, Drapes, because there was that King, whatever it was, and then, he is an Eagles.
Man.
And that thing just keeps getting worse. That's why you never say, well, it can't get any worse.
Yes, because it can.
Yeah.
It always can.
Yeah.
Long as you're still breathing, it can get worse.
Good point.
Absolutely.
Here's where I am with the Kings. Before when they were playing well, then they got to Houston, they get clobbered. Then they get clobbered in Portland. They get clobbered at home against Boston. I think it was accurate for us to say, not sure what these guys are. To me, Jay, I think I know what they are. And hearing Mike Brown yesterday, I think he thinks he knows what they are, and they're just a really poor defensive team. So it's not like, wow, what's going on? It's like, that happens one time. Whoa, well, they'll be all right. Twice, huh? And now it's happened so often here. 5 times they've trailed by 30 or more this year. 7 of their 14 losses by 15 or more points. I think we know what's up. They can't guard anybody.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the season, you don't want to put an onus on a team because they haven't played. But I say it, and I've said this a few times already. If you thought the Kings defensively were going to change with pretty much the same type of personnel, with an inclusion of a JaVale McGee, a Sasha, who everyone basically said his deficiencies were on the defensive side. Duarte was at that point is kind of no more on the offensive end side. He's playing great D, or I should say good D. Great is probably, that's too much, because I think we use the word great too many times in our society anyway. But I think he's played good D. And then at the same time, if you look at the writing on the wall, Whitey, last year in the playoffs, Davion wasn't being utilized to the best of his extent. And you could probably see that coming this year, because all we kept hearing about Davion was what in the offseason? He's worked on his jump shot. He's went over there with De'Aaron Fox to work on some handles and offensive and his speed and offensive efficiency and setting up the offense, all these different things. But one thing we didn't hear about was, let's make sure we keep the same level of defensive intensity and same level of defensive capability, which I know he has. I'm just not sure the Kings are looking for that from him until it's really needed. We need a stop right now, or we need to get back into the game. Let's go ahead and put in Davion and see if we can get a few defensive stops. Beside that, I don't think they're looking for what his superpower is.
Well, I was out there yesterday, and I know yesterday after the game and also today listening to Alan and Chris, there was a lot of talk about how Keon was the one they sent out, after the game. I understand that. To me, a bigger issue is that De'Aaron Fox didn't talk to anybody, but I understand why people are looking at that. However, to me, that's really neither here nor there. When the coach of a team comes out and apologizes to the fan base, I'm sorry you spent your money on that. I think that's a pretty big deal, and we're kind of glossing over it now. Like, yeah, boy, I know what you mean, coach. I think if Darvin Ham does that, if Tom Thibodeau does that, some other coaches somewhere, that's a big deal. And I think it should be a big deal here that the coach of the Kings is apologizing to fans for what the Kings put out on the floor yesterday. Basically, Mike Brown calling out his team and saying, we're soft. That's what he said yesterday. Hey, my guys are soft. They didn't put up any fight. That's what he's saying. I don't know why we're not talking more about that, frankly.
Oh, I think because the writing says 133 to 100. And I think that's what more people are, you and Drapes had this conversation last week early on. I believe it was Monday about not just being a box score type of, reaction. Don't be that box score reactor. But I think if there was anything to read into when it comes to a box score, last night was pretty close, minus the fact of they got bullied around. You didn't see that part of it. They got outplayed. They looked like they were down from the beginning and from my standpoint, as much as whatever you want to call it,
Definitely.
per quarter. And it looked like they conceded that New Orleans is a better team than them when they go head to head. And it looked like they weren't, not so much as prepared, because that's not the proper terminology. But I do believe they conceded the whole game. Like, it was just, you know what? We can't beat you guys. And when it's funny because as much as we've talked about the Warriors-Kings rivalry, as much as we've talked about the Kings getting over the hump against Golden State, as much as we've talked about, Golden State treating Sacramento as their little stepchild, the one thing the Kings did is they came out and played like they wanted to win. They always went at the Golden State Warriors. And for whatever reason, you can call it Steph Curry effect. You could call Kayvon Looney / Walt Chamberlain effect, whatever you want to call it. The Warriors kept beating the Kings. With the Pelicans, it's like, they just walk into the building. You know what? Whatever you guys have our number, and we're just here to show up and collect a check.
You look at this homestand, and I advise you not to look too closely at your Kings fans. It's like, whoa, right? You had Charlotte come in here shorthanded, and they held on and they won the game when the Kings collapsed late. Then you had a double overtime win over Orlando, which obviously, and Orlando was shorthanded. That could have gone either which way, and credit to the Kings, they pulled it out. Then you had Toronto come in here, and Toronto was way behind. They're down 21, came back, almost won that game. Then you had yesterday. So you split the 4 games when I think most of us thought they had a chance to go 4-0. But here's my point, Jay.
Really, though? Wait, not to cut you off. Really, though, Whitey?
I think some people thought they had a chance to go 4-0.
And see, that's the problem. Again,
you may be right.
Yes, there's no way this team could be expected to go 4-0 when I saw the Pelicans on the back half, when I saw Orlando, a young, fresh, energetic bunch, and Orlando got some calls. The Kings got some calls. The Kings prevailed. That, as you said, the game could have went either way. But I don't trust the Kings enough in 4 games to sweep a 4-game streak at all. I don't care who they're playing. And it's been showed they've played the Rockets back-to-back. They've played terrible teams. They came in there and lost to Charlotte, of all people. Charlotte without LaMelo. Charlotte without a few other guys that were, that didn't play.
Yeah, short-handed.
If there's anyone listening right now and you expected the Kings to come home and go 4-0, you're fooling yourself. It's time for you, just like the Kings, to think we have to be realistic about this team. They're not a come home and win 4 games in a row type of team right now. I think they have the capability of doing that. I think they have the players, the personnel, the want to do that. But as you talked about, Whitey, they're deficient in many areas. And I don't even despite the deficiency, I don't see them. And, people talk about the dog or the monster or whatever you want to call it. I don't see that in them to override the deficiencies.
Well, here's my point. Those 4 games, and all 4 of those games, you could see the opponent was at no time intimidated or afraid of the Kings. They were, when teams got down, even though it was in Sacramento, clearly teams felt like, we'll be all right. The Raptors came from 21 down, almost won. Again, the Kings won, I know. Orlando shorthanded. Charlotte shorthanded. They didn't flinch. They won the game.
Right.
And then New Orleans yesterday was a freaking picnic for them from the opening jump. That game wasn't close. Maybe 5 minutes. It was like, who's going to win? After that, I was like, oh, this game is over. New Orleans knew that they cannot stop us. They are not capable of stopping us. It was like high schoolers against fifth graders. You don't see that very often in the NBA. I'm serious.
Yeah, I agree with you. I worried about the game coming into the game. I worried about the game 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago on Wednesday when we were watching Orlando. I think the Pelicans have the kryptonite to what the Kings have. And we've talked about it I'm comparing that to the Warriors. I always felt the Warriors just had the know-how. They're a wily bunch.
Right.
The Pelicans, I just think they have the kryptonite to what the Kings are, which is long. They're defensive. They get in your way. I think, and I've been critical of De'Aaron Fox in this way. Now, he has grown leaps and bounds probably more than I would ever thought. But I continue to keep on saying, we talk about we needing a big man. We talk about we needed a wing. I've said this team all along, going back 2 years ago. This team needs another creator. I don't care where you get it from. I don't care if it's the center. I don't care if it's the 6 man. I don't care if it's the bench. I don't care if it's what. You need another creator. De'Aaron's superpower now has become he can finish, right? He can finish just about anywhere. As you guys have pointed to, he's shooting the 3 a lot better.
He's added the 3,
yes.
But that's disappeared of late.
Very true. Yeah. And I think that's, a little fool's gold. I don't think he's going to shoot the 3 as strong as he started this season. But I think he's always how many times, and you've been a coach, you've been a player, Whitey, how many times did you say, if he could just shoot it enough to where they respect it,
then you can't guard him.
Can't guard him. Yeah. And I think that's what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that you continue to see from De'Aaron's, his cabinet, he doesn't make a lot of people better. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy.
I agree with that.
Yes. It's when you see Malik, his dishes, his assists, they put people in better positions to score, right? With De'Aaron, it's kind of like he made the proper pass, or he dished a little bit, but he's not setting up for a lot of easier buckets. Where Malik, he'll put a little spin on the ball, he'll dip and dive, drop it off, no look. You don't see that from De'Aaron a lot. And I continue to keep on saying the Kings need another creator.
Yeah, I think that's part of his growth, but I agree with that. Let's keep it here.
Okay.
Let's keep it here. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. I think we got Willie ready to go. Willie joining us here. It's Jay in for Drapes today. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports. How are you, Willie?
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Fans are upset. No Kyle Draper today, but he's not ducking anybody. He's going to join us at some point. He had to travel to Detroit with the team. So it's Jay Whitey today. Glad you're with us. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. John Parkhurst on the chat. Josh Parkhurst, pardon me. I was at the game yesterday. So infuriating. The Pels didn't have Zion or Alvarado and got dogged. Beamley says, what do you want Fox to say? Well, I understand that maybe there's not a lot for him to say after a bad game, but that's part of his duties as a player, especially a leader on the team. Somebody's got to talk to the media. Sabonis did it. Keon did it. But we also got to find out what's going on with De'Aaron. It's possible, Jay, that he's hurt a little bit. I know somebody, it might have been Brendan asked Coach after the game about that yesterday. And Mike Brown said, he's fine as far as I know. And he said, you might want to ask him, but he looks fine. So, because he's really struggled this week, and that was a rough game yesterday. But the Pels also, they know how to play him and literally knock him off his stride.
Yeah, I think everything you said is spot on. Who knows at this point? Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I truly do think the Pels play him very well, and they have the length.
Yeah,
they have one of the talked to one of the assistant coaches down in Sacramento, and it was right before they were getting ready to play the Rockets. And to the word, the one thing they were worried about with the Rockets was they're physical.
Yeah.
They're like knuckleheads.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know where they're supposed to be doing it. They're just going out there playing. But the one thing is they're ruckus.
Mm-hmm.
Them youngsters are ruckus. And if you come at them, I'm going to come at you. And sometimes it's not the best. It's not beautiful basketball. Sometimes, as we've seen, it doesn't mean that they're going to win a lot of games. But the one thing they're going to do is they're going to muck it up. They're going to make it a problem. They're going to have an issue with you if you come at them. And I think the Pelicans kind of have a little bit of that, but I think they're refined a little bit because you have McCollum and you have, Brandon Ingram.
There's no ruckus on this Kings roster, to your point.
Very few.
This is a ruckus-free roster. Right
very few. As I've said it, I think Malik Monk is that spirit animal, for the Kings.
Trey Lyles a little bit.
I think Trey Lyles is a little bit out of necessity. I think if he was on and this is my thing. Prior to Trey Lyles coming here, and I mean, it's Trey, no disrespect to Trey Lyles. He isn't a focal point of other people's team, when it comes to scouting. But had we ever heard Trey Lyles being, somebody's going to sock you in the mouth?
No, not really.
So now all of a sudden he come to Sacramento and he's, he ready to clothesline people. Nah, that's not him. Mm-hmm. So let's not build that into him.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Willie joins us on Sactown Sports. Help us understand what's going on, Willie.
Hey, man, we done talked about this so many times. I'm all cried out, Jay. Look, listen, man, I know Drake is got his head in a pillow on the plane. He's flying, he's still crying. Matt Barnes in there tell it like it is. They tell the truth. Baby, they tell the truth. And I know my man on the payroll, but you know what? Look, man, I've been saying for the longest. And then every time I make a comment like this, everybody say, what's he going to be? He's going to do this. I'm not saying that. You have to have a mentality, a defensive mentality. I think the Kings totally had about 12 fouls last night. You had guys just walking in the paint, just making just easy shots, shooting easy threes. If you don't show any anger and show no any physicality, you can't stop an NBA player. I mean, just like you got to have a mentality like a Dwight Howard or Cousins or somebody like. You can't just let teams just walk in there and just score on you like they were scoring. Man, Jay, we'd have been fighting on the court. Me and you was out there, and we down by 50. And if we win the locker room, we'd have been fighting in the locker room.
Jay, yeah. Jay, thank you, Will. Willie's exactly right. Willie, you're right on the number. The Kings committed 12 fouls.
Yeah.
And I remember at one point looking up late first half, I looked at the rebounding numbers. It was 23-6. 23-6. They ended with the Kings ended up with 9 rebounds at the half. The Sabonis after the game said they didn't miss any shots, so we didn't have any to
come off the glass with.
Still 9 rebounds, and that's what I think really got to Mike Brown. I mean, when the coach is talking about we did not have any fight, that should be a bigger story today, Jay. Willie, the coach of the team saying we just didn't have any fight. We didn't have any fight. It's not the first time he said it, but that should be alarming. He even said it's what do you say? Troubling, bothersome. I think coach said, it's kind of bothersome, and obviously he's biting his tongue a little bit. That is bad news.
Is it because of how many games we're into the season? Is it because of the makeup of the team? Is it because of why do you think it's alarming? Why is it bad news to you? Because I continue to keep on saying, I expected this. I mean, the Kings they're what, 5th place? That's kind of where I expected the Kings to be.
Bad. Yeah.
Overall, what were we expecting again?
Snapshot of where they are in the standings. That's certainly more than acceptable. It's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's building off what you had last year with a bunch of movement coming to the Western Conference, a bunch of movement, of course, happening in the NBA, a few pieces added, 1 or 2 lost, Terrence Davis type people gone away from the Kings. I mean, I think it's the fashion in which they lost.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have lost to Orlando, people would say, okay, look, the Paolo call blew it. They had an opportunity because they
did not compete yesterday.
Yeah, they didn't. And I think it's just one of those things where they looked across and they saw the Pels, Whitey. And I think they understand the Pels play them very well, and they might have their number, and maybe they just mailed it off. I wish we had a few more answers. And as you said, Mike Brown really didn't, and he bit his tongue a few times where you could tell. I'm pretty sure he went in and said something completely different than he said to the media.
I agree with that
yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And
he's trying to say the right thing, Jay. Like he said, we didn't have any fight, and then he says, and that starts with me. Well, he's the coach, but he realizes he has to say that.
Yeah, and not necessarily though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, I get it. You have to walk the line, but there are certain times where you can come out and say, listen, we shouldn't be getting smacked around 4th game of a homestand when we're getting ready to hit the road tomorrow.
Yeah,
and we want to be the type of team that our goals and aspirations, what we're looking for, and I think that's why you have Kings fans, and even to what you're saying is. The answers. I would rather De'Aaron. I would rather, DeMontis. I would rather Harrison Barnes. I would rather the players. And, of course, Mike Brown has to have a conversation. But I would rather have some of the leaders in the clubhouse, in the locker room, say those things compared to Coach. Because really, when you're looking at it, that's just Coach speak, Whitey.
Yeah. Well, Sabonis is
ultimate professional.
He plays really hard. He doesn't talk that way, but he plays so hard. But when he was asked yesterday after the game about holding each other accountable, and he said, we have to hold each other accountable, and he's right. And we got to get on each other, but they don't, it's like, you're right. But I think at some point, someone's going to have to call somebody out or something, unless the players realize, that's not going to do any good. I think the problem really, ultimately, I don't think it's the players need to play harder, which is what we all like to say. They need to play harder. They need to care more. I think this roster is just deeply flawed, and it's to their credit and to the credit of everyone in the organization that to this point they're, what, as you say, 5th, but it's hard to see them improving on last year or doing any damage in the postseason with this roster right now that is, so, as you said, ruckus free, and also just can't guard anybody.
No.
So it's time to do something about that because the deadline's almost here.
Oof.
Bottom line.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And I think that's, coming to Jesus moment, for Sacramento Kings fans is this is what has been, from my point of view, half glass full, half glass empty, however you want to see it. This is kind of what I expected for the Sacramento Kings. You hope for a little more, you hope for the better, but you have to be real. You have to be real with yourself, Whitey. And I've said this for numerous years here at Sac Sports 1140. The Kings are building. They've gotten better. Mm-hmm. There are definitely some pieces to what the Kings have that you can build a cornerstone and maybe a championship team. There are players that have outplayed my expectations, and I'm pretty sure a lot of callers could call in at the text line, YouTube, and would say the same thing. I'm pretty sure you can attest to that, Whitey. I'm pretty sure there's a few players on this roster right now where you're like, you know what? I didn't expect that. He has done far and better than what I expected, my expectations of that player. But this is not a championship team, and I know we're not saying here that we expected this to be a championship team. But I think there were some lofty expectations because of how it went down last year. And that's something you've explained to Drapes a few times. Is look, the expectations are different this year.
Right.
So some of the things that Drapes may let fall off the shoulder or is getting upset, which is funny because it's a catch-22. Kings fans are saying, listen, no, we expected a little more. Mm-hmm. We don't expect on a 4-game homestand to lose to Charlotte, who's without a bunch of people, and then just absolutely get the elbow dropped on them off the top rope by New Orleans.
Yes.
And then on top of that, you haven't been New Orleans all year.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what upset people too is, all right, now we got something for them. Whoa, it's even worse. Wait, it's even worse than it was last time. I think the big thing with Kings fans right now is they want to believe, as you said, this team is building towards something. Right now, it's hard to see how the Kings have improved. It's hard to see how they will improve. We'll look at that when we come right back. It's a drive, guys. Jay in for Drapes today. Going to hear from Drapes today as well, though. Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Monday forecast includes a mix of sun and clouds. Daytime highs in the lower 50s. We'll have increasing clouds tonight and chance for showers early Tuesday. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85 or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's time to buck up, Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Mike, is Fox Hillen okay? This is the third straight game where he struggled shooting, and just yesterday or 2 days ago when he was walking out of here, it just looked like he was just not in pain, but struggling and looking a little tired.
Yeah, from my understanding, he is, but that may be a question that you ask him. But everything seems okay from me with him. You know what I'm saying? It seems like he's okay. I haven't heard anything.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Kevin Gleason and Jay today. Jay Johnson with Kyle Draper flying with the team. We should be hearing from Drapes at some point here. Jay, big day for you. I realize you're Mr. College Football, and this is the national championship game day.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
This is me.
Surprised you didn't take today off. Glad you didn't.
I thought about it. No, I'm just playing. But, yeah, I'm all about it. College football is it's my favorite, man. I appreciate it. I know there's some things that a lot of people are starting not to like about college football, transfer portals, and all these different things. And NIL, some people dislike it, but I love college football, man.
Yeah,
really do.
Before we get back to the Kings, I just think it'd be great if, in the final year of the Pac-12, if a Pac-12 team won it.
No.
That would be great.
No, I'd like to see Harbaugh, Michigan win and see what happens with Harbaugh. Because I think he's gone.
I do too.
Yeah.
But if he wants to be, don't you think whatever could happen with him is probably going to happen whether they win or not? I mean,
yeah, but it would paint a better story if he's to win a national championship, and then look at the SEC and then say, I'm going to LA.
But he'll have other chances. The Pac-12, that's it. There is no more Pac-12.
Yeah, that's their fault, and I think that's part of the situation too, Whitey. As much as I'm a West Coast guy, they did it to themselves, so I'm not feeling bad for them.
All right. So, what's your official prediction for tonight?
I actually think Michigan wins by a touchdown or more.
Touchdown or more. Okay.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Put it there. You need me to give you a score or some sort?
No, that's pretty good. So, pretty one-sided.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little more. It's funny. Washington plays like a SEC team when it comes to the flash, wide open, throwing the ball. And Michigan plays like a Big Ten team, but I think they have offense. I think they, as we've seen, it comes to the Natty, and they can run the ball. Everyone knows that. But I think JJ's got something in JJ McCarthy, quarterback from Michigan. I think he has a little something in his pocket. Kind of going back to what we saw JJ early on in the season when he was throwing for 250 and 4 touchdowns. I think it's his time. And I think he wants to come out and enter the draft. And I think this is his I think Michael Penix, who's the quarterback of Washington, has already done that. I think he's played his way into the first round. I think JJ, who most people believe is going to be in the middle, this is his coming out party, so to say. And they dominate up front.
If you were Mark Davis, and let's say Michigan wins, and there was a report today that Harbaugh has some interest in the Raiders. Raiders have interest. If you're Mark Davis, would you hire him?
Absolutely.
Bring him in?
Yeah, I think any NFL team right now.
Antonio Pierce.
I do, but I think if Jim Harbaugh is calling, you have to take him. I think Antonio Pierce has shown and proven that he deserves it. But if Jim Harbaugh is saying, look, he's got the pick of the litter, right now, no one's going to move until they figure out what Jim Harbaugh. If Jim Harbaugh comes to Mark Davis to say, look, I want to be in Vegas. This is a squad I want to lead. Then you have to go get them, because I think they're going to play just as good for Jim as they play for Pierce.
And he's got 2 teams in the same division.
I know, man.
That are interested.
Yes.
Cha-ching.
Are you going to LA first?
If I'm Coach Harbaugh?
Or Vegas right now?
I would go to LA. I would go to the Chargers just because I'm still not sure how stable that whole Vegas Mark Davis thing is.
Okay. What do you mean? He's going to be the owner as long as he's still alive, I would imagine.
I guess. If I'm Harbaugh, I'm thinking, if I go to the Raiders, I can do whatever I want.
True.
That guy's a pushover.
I think he's going to do the same thing in LA, though.
Huh.
You're going to have
We'll
to give
chance.
Jim the keys.
What about, okay, so if the Chargers get Harbaugh and you're the Raiders, are you going after Belichick?
I think you have to.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I would take Pierce, but I think you have to. You can't. If Bill Belichick and Jim Harbaugh are interested in joining your organization, I'm not just doing it on names. I'm just saying, if Bill Belichick, as much as I think Antonio Pierce has earned it, if Bill Belichick is knocking on your door and say, you know what? Hey, Mark, I've pinpointed your organization. I like a few things over here. Let me come. You have to.
What if he says, I want to run the whole show?
I wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
But Mark Davis is he's in no position to say no, right?
No.
And he's a pushover. Yes. You just said that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I guess whatever you
Put
want.
it this way, Whitey. If Bill Belichick came to Mark Davis and said he wanted to coach and be the general manager of the Raiders, and you know it's going to get out, and let's just say Adam Schefter is reporting it, and Mark Davis says no, what do you think is going to happen in the sports world?
I think in that case, it would be the right move.
Okay.
I don't think he'd have the smarts to make it, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah. Harbaugh's got a lot of Raider ties. He's got Charger ties.
He does. Yeah.
A lot of
San Diego.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We're talking about the Kings. Back to the Kings, who were dreadful yesterday. Debate is erupted here on the YouTube chat. You got one camp that says, hey, the coaching is bad. You got another camp that says, no, it's this roster. Monty has not given Coach Brennan and his staff a decent roster. I think, Jay, the reason there's so much anxiety amongst fans, not include myself here, so I'm talking about myself, a lot of Kings fans assumed they would be better this year. They didn't really, as you pointed out, they didn't do a lot in the offseason. Doesn't look like they're necessarily going to do anything now. So how is it? Fans are wondering, okay, how are we supposed to be better? Yeah, the record right now is solid. Based on recent King seasons, this is great. But how? It's hard to see how this team's going to get better unless they do something.
Yeah. It's almost a conundrum, Whitey. I don't have that answer. I wish I had that answer to give to you and Kings fans who are from that half glass empty side of town where, they're looking for something to attach to being better.
Mm-hmm.
I truly.
It's a Brown get out of town. Hashtag Brown get out of town.
Come on. Slow down now. Yeah, that's slow down. That's prisoner of the moment. Yeah, that's prisoner of the moment. That's not going to. From where the Kings were 5 years ago to where they're at now, this is the problem of winning in expectations. You've said it all along. We've had guests come on all along all year and explain it to Draper. The expectations are completely different. People want to see the Kings take the next step. The cold part about it, though, Whitey, is this. The Kings may be able to take the next step, but finish behind in the regular season where they were last year. Mm-hmm. And that is a reality. I'm not sure Kings fans want to hear that, the half glass full guy, fan, but I think that is a reality. And I think, HT, the high flyer, has said it a few times. I've heard him say it on these airwaves. Just finish in the top 6. Don't have to compete in the play-in. Have opportunity to play in the playoffs automatically where you guaranteed 4 games. And I think that's where it's at. It might not look the same on paper. They may not finish in the top, 3. It might not be the same as we seen last year, top 4, whatever it is. They may finish 6th. But if they win a playoff series, do we consider it being built on? Is the foundation bent? You would.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They won a playoff series. Yeah, that's progress.
So let me ask you, if they make it to the first round, lose in game 7,
That's tough, but I think given where the Kings have been, I think ultimately we'd have to say this is still a good place to be. You know how it is. You've been here a long time.
Sure.
Anybody who's been here a long time, like we have knows, hey, you could be looking at 7-28 or what, That's the way it used to be.
Yeah.
We have this, though, from Daniel Marsh. MB has killed what made this team fun and special. What inspired this group? Replaces it with regurgitated copycat material. Thank you for listening, Daniel. Bless you for your opinions. I totally disagree. I don't think that's what's going on.
No, I disagree too. There's no way that is. I think what Mike has done, Whitey, and you've said it, I think he's trying to build defensively. They're trying to be defensively, and it's taken away from what we've seen last year, which was just go. As we saw the famous clip, just run, right? Yeah. Take it and run.
Turn on the Jets.
I think now it's okay. We want to start to hone in. Let's hone in on our craft a little bit, and it's affected what's going on the offensive side.
Yeah, there's also this possibility. He recognizes that maybe the Kings played a little over their heads last year.
Of course
they didn't. Maybe they did. And he's thinking, well, if they did, then we're not going to have that offense to rely on. So what are we going to rely on? We better be better defensively. And that's what he's struggling to get this team to do. And for the most part, I don't know that they're capable of it.
Well, let's put it out there. Do you think the Kings overachieved last year?
Wow, that's pretty harsh. Yeah,
I do. Do you?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I do.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that's what we do on the drive, guys. We're going to be honest.
They deserve credit for doing that.
Yes, but they overachieved.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way anyone thought, beside those players and the coaches, I'm pretty sure probably half the front office didn't believe it. You walk in there and you finish the way they finished, playing the Warriors in the 3 seed. I mean, that's overachieving from a team that wasn't even close to sniffing the playoffs. Yeah, come on now.
Right.
So if this year, the way it looks, again, they're in 5th place. We're not talking as if they're dead last. We're not talking as if they're 4 games out of a play-in. They're in 5th place.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
They're a couple of games from going up or down. Understandable. I'm not defending that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, I think they are who we thought they were. At least I do. Yeah. I mean, that's where I'm at with it.
What do you think? 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. The Kings overachieved last year.
I will say this, Whitey. I didn't expect them to get.
Suggestion.
Yeah, it is. You can jump on me. I didn't expect for them to come in, lose to Charlotte, and then get,
annihilated,
disemboweled. I didn't. But I also didn't expect them to go to Minnesota and win.
Mm-hmm.
I also didn't expect them to beat Denver. So give or take a few wins, there's going to be some bad losses. There's going to be some good wins. And hopefully down the middle, they finish in the top 6.
Now, is there a divide within the Kings on what needs to be done at the deadline? Tell you why, I'm keeping an eye on that when we come right back here. Drive, guys. Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from in the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Discover Roseville's hidden gem, Timbers at the Lodge, nestled in the Timber Creek Golf Course. Savor a culinary journey where every bite tells a story. We serve breakfast 7 days a week with happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m., where you can relax on the outdoor patio next to our newly renovated and expanded putting green.
Thursdays always feature our $28 prime rib dinner. Reservations encouraged. Learn more at timbersatthelodge.com. We look forward to welcoming you to Timbers at the Lodge, where exceptional food meets great times.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know? Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
Marcus, what happened?
I was changing my oil and I spilled some on the floor.
Oh, well, use these $50 bills to wipe it up.
Perfect. Got any more?
Yeah, take a couple hundred.
Stop. Instead of using money, use an old rag. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't. Right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install the new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
The Tribe Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Thanks for being with us today, getting through this somewhat difficult Monday together. Hey, the Kings are fifth. That's great. The 49ers lost yesterday, but they're headed for the postseason. Got a week off. But, that was just kind of a grim one yesterday. Holidays are over. Pelicans come in. Kings got Molly Womped. Hooligan on the chat says Sabonis and Fox are fine. Keegan is fine as well. Kings just need a captain, another game changer who's vocal. Kings need more talented players, especially defensively. That's what I think they need.
Whitey, somebody comes in here and all they do is scream, 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 talk, but they're at the end of the bench. That's what we need?
I don't
Nah, come on now. I'm not saying that's what.
Carr
Yeah.
waving his towel.
I'm not saying, and I'm not saying that person is saying that, but that's what it's kind of almost we're getting that from a lot of Kings fans is we need someone who's going to be a leader and vocal. And yeah, it could be, a player, a Garrett Temple, so to say, an Amon Shumpert, who everybody loved when it came, but Amon played, GT played, those guys were in the midst of it and they were in the fight. And I think that's what we're looking for. And I believe that's what most people are saying. But I truly believe you need someone that's going to be an integral part of the rotation, playing, and be that guy. And there are some of those people in the league. We just don't have it here.
Beamer Beams or Beamley says Fox, Sabonis, HB, Keegan. They're all very quiet, soft-spoken. It seems.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and it is hard for a player to try to be something he's not because players recognize that, and if you try to be something you're not, they're like, I'm not going to listen to you.
Yes.
That's just embarrassing.
But you know what, though, Whitey? We have, and I know Drapes would fall out the chair right now. We have that guy to move into the starting rotation. It's Malik Monk. He's the two.
How much is that? Okay, pardon me for interrupting.
No, please.
But if you start him, and he's playing the same amount of minutes, what does that help? How does that address the problem?
Well, I think first of all, he starts and finishes, which most of the time he finishes anyway.
Right.
But I think parts of where the Kings miss is the vocal leader of, and I'll go to like a Popovich, or I'll go to some of the, you see 2 possessions in the game, something goes wrong, you get a timeout fast, quick, and you're like, oh, he's not happy. They must have missed an assignment defensively, whatever. Sometimes when you have that guy that's out there and they're demonstrative enough, hey, look, they're already being, they've been chewed out by that guy, or that person is rah-rah. He is ruckus. He is letting people know. And then the other part of that too, and this is my pet peeve with the stars of the Kings, and I think this is part of that, is this. There comes a point in time where you as the star, you as the guy, and you've already alluded to it, it may not be who you are, and that's fine. That's okay. But the spirit in you don't just take over where it's like, you know what? There's no way that's getting ready to happen. And if it does, it's not going to be on my watch. Like, I'm going to do everything possible to make sure, set the example. You're not going to run over us like that. You're not going to run over me like that. Right. And I think that's part of where some of the Kings, and I may be wrong, 916-339-1140, but I know that's one of my issues with the Kings and the King star is sometimes you just got to go out there and be different.
They were too willing to accept what happened yesterday.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And again,
what are we going to do? They beat
that's
us every time.
Right. And Jay's different. Drapes is different. We're a little more fiery. We're not Draymond or what, but we're fiery. I'm going to get in your face. I'm Malik Monk. I'm going to let you know. I'm like, you're not coming at me like that. And even if you get the best of me, believe me, it's going to be the hardest that you ever to get the best of me. I'm not sure we see that with the Kings night in and night out. You don't lose to Charlotte like that, and you're supposed to be doing, be a better team. I'm going to tell you that.
You're right. Here's something I'm keeping an eye on. Please tell me if you think there's something here or I'm seeing things. This is what Sam Amick wrote about the Kings December 18th in The Athletic. And I remember we talked about it at the time. He wrote, among other things, he said, the Kings' current roster focus appears to be on the value of shooting an offense above all else. And he said, there's a feeling that the improvement in defense is sufficient. So as they look at trades, Sam Amick says, and this is what he was told by, somebody high up with the Kings, the roster focus appears to be on the value of shooting an offense above all else. Okay. That's Sam Amick, 18th of December. Mike Brown yesterday, quote, if we think we should just be an offensive team and there is some of that thought amongst us, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. So to me, that tells me
they're not on the same playing field.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
That's what I'm hearing. Now, am I imagining that, or is there maybe something there?
No, I think you're hearing what everyone's hearing. My ears are telling me, do you believe that's an issue? And the fact it could be start to rear its head?
Yeah, if they end up doing something that the coach is not on board with, it causes problems. I mean, that's part of your job as a coach is you make the best of what we give you. Hopefully he has the front office's ear and he can impress upon them, look, I think this is what we need. And to this point, I think that's one of the things that has worked for the Kings. The front office coaching relationship appears to be very smooth. I just hope we're not hitting a rift here with this very important philosophical decision that they have to make, frankly.
Talent will change a lot of it. You bring some talented players in here, offensively or defensively, believe me, we'll forget a little bit about the defense if offensively they're a little more enabled than some of the guys that's playing right now.
Now you're telling me you want Zach LaVine.
Well,
I don't want Zach LaVine.
I like Zach. Because and I know, the discourse to his conversation is he's not a winner. He hasn't been a part of a winner. As we've seen, the Bulls are winning more without him than with him. All that tells me is they coming together more as a team because their star is gone and everybody is falling into place. I can have an argument to everything. I think Zach is a creator. I think he's exactly what the Kings need. Now, on the defensive side, you're absolutely right, Whitey. He's not bringing anything to the table. I get it. But he's also going to bring you 20. He's going to bring a little more of a dog. Now, he isn't the type of guy that I think I'm looking for when it comes to the ruckus. But I also think he's the type of guy, if you come at him, he's coming back at you.
He does. I've seen it.
Unfortunately, I don't think with the Kings, there's not a lot of guys. I think, sometime I think about this, and this is where my mind goes, Whitey. When you're better than someone and you can dominate someone, and we've seen it kind of older basketball, they'd throw it into Shaq 8 times in a row, and he'd go get the bucket 8 times in a row. 6 out of 8.
You're talking about Brandon Ingram yesterday, but go ahead.
I digress. I was going to talk about that. But there comes a point in time when that happens, anyone, you got to say, nah, that's not going to happen. Coach, give me that. Yeah. Let me do that. Yeah. Get out the way. Let's switch. You have to. And that's the thing with the Kings that befuddles me. Is sometime you'll see somebody go right at someone, a player A, 12 times. And it's like, you can see it in the half. They're constructing plays to go at that person. They're conjuring up things to do to
get out of my way.
Get out right.
I want him.
Almost to the point sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, where is the fight in that? Mm-hmm. Where is the fight not from only that player or those 2 players that keeps getting put in that pick and roll situation? And or where is the fight from the team and the stars? The stars. Nah, no way, no how, man. Watch out. Let me get that.
Does the fight, though, if you have a little more of that fight, does it make you better, or does it just make it easier to tolerate losing? I still think it's talent more than that, as important as that is.
I agree.
Yeah. We'll take a quick timeout. We've got Eric Crocker, by the way. We're going to talk some 49ers at 3:15. But when we come right back, we'll look at that whole Siakam Barnes potential deal, what may or may not have happened, almost happened, or why it didn't happen when we come right back here. It's a drive, guys. Jay's in for Drapes today. We should be hearing from Drapes this hour as well. Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
New year, new you. And what better way to start fresh than with a new ride from Elk Grove Kia? Nothing beats second, whether it's a second shot at love, a second shot at life, or even seconds at the all-you-can-eat buffet. But when it comes to your next car, no one believes more in second chances than Elk Grove Kia. Bankruptcies, challenged credit, no problem. Our finance department specializes in turning challenges into triumphs. We guarantee no one does challenged credit better than us. Elk Grove Kia can get you into a new ride in 2024. Elk Grove Kia's finance department has over 100 years of combined experience. Elk Grove Kia's team can navigate even the most challenging credit pasts. We understand that life happens, and we're here to help you move forward in a brand new Kia. So don't wait any longer when you could be enjoying 2024 in a brand new Kia. Head over to Elk Grove Kia today in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or visit elkgrovekia.com. Your second chance awaits. New year, new you, new ride. Only at
Elk Grove Kia.
Yep, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from TruckSmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since TruckSmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. Trucksmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
It's time to buck up Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Here we are again on that roller coaster. Jay, at some point, can we maybe play Ohio Players Love Roller Coaster?
Yeah, I got you.
Because that's where we've been so often this year. I think it was last Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Drapes started the show out at the arena again before the Charlotte game, and he said, we can't be on the roller coaster anymore. And it was just wishful thinking because here we are. And he was back on it last night after the game. We saw him on NBC Sports California. He was mad again, and he's supposed to join us here.
You fell apart, Whitey?
He and poor Mike Bibby. I was like, you're very professional, Mike Bibby, but I'm very upset right now. So Drape's on the road with the team, but he is supposed to be joining us here this hour. So it's just the nature of this team. We did get, really exciting brush with a big-time deal on Friday when the reports were swirling that the Kings were up to something with the Raptors in town, and it turns out nothing happened. Really curious. The reports came out that the Kings and the Raptors, as you know, because we went over it, the Raptors were ramping up talks, was what was reported. Then, before the game even tipped off, report came out that the Kings have withdrawn from talks. Here was Shams today. Shams, I believe, was on a Toronto TV station, and he had some interesting to say about this, but it's hard to tell exactly how close this actually came to happening. You hear a number of things. You hear that Siakam didn't want to go and didn't offer the types of assurances the Kings wanted. You also hear, and I don't know how much of this is fact, how much of this is informed speculation, frankly, and how much is just speculation. Also heard that Monk's name came up. And once Monk's name came up, the Kings were not happy to continue the conversations. Also heard the Kings just didn't want to, they didn't want to pay Siakam as much as he was going to want, which is hard to believe because otherwise they wouldn't have engaged them in the conversations. Bottom line, it doesn't look like Siakam is coming to the Kings. It sure felt like something was up, and apparently they were talking. I don't know, Jay, were you excited about that? Did Siakam, the possibility, do anything for you? I think I let my heart get the better of my head. I was excited about it Friday.
I can see why, because the talent, and you got to see him in front of you. He was right there. It's like a new shiny car you thinking you're going to get.
Ooh.
Yeah, I could see that. I like Siakam. I don't think he's the answer to a lot of things that the Kings need, but I think he's what you're saying is talent. He brings way more talent than I think hopefully you would have to give up. And, of course, some of those picks, we don't know what that transition to down the road, but I think he is a talented player. For me, he doesn't do it. I don't think he changes the trajectory of the Kings. That's just my opinion. I do think he's a talented guy, though.
Yeah, it would have been very, very risky because I was assuming that the odds were you probably weren't going to re-sign him, that either he wouldn't want to come here, which, again, is one of the things being said about that was ultimately what it came down to. I was thinking, hey, if I'm the Kings, I'm willing to take that gamble, but ultimately they weren't. So they still need to do something here. But we do have some comments that we'll get to from Shams on what exactly went down. You get a little bit of mixed signals on this. Who actually bailed out? The first reports that came out, and Kyle Draper pointed this out, first reports we heard Friday about the Raptors and Kings ramping up talks that appeared to be coming from Toronto's camp. Next thing you know, looked like the Kings were the ones saying the Kings have backed out. Here was Shams today on how the Pascal Siakam talks between the two clubs may have unraveled.
I'm told the Raptors and Kings were in active conversations about a Pascal Siakam trade last week. But for the Kings, two factors have been important. One, the timeliness of a deal. They want to get a deal if it were to get done sooner rather than later. They want to get their team as a whole and really build chemistry and build if Pascal Siakam, they're able to land him. And the other thing is also the framework of a deal. There's a package that they want to give to Toronto potentially, revolving around for, I'm told, Harrison Barnes. And they don't want that framework to change. The Raptors have had multiple offers around the league. And from the Kings side, they've had a gaining interest in Siakam. If you can bring him into a big three that has Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, you have Pascal Siakam, you have three guys that have been all-stars. I mean, that's a pretty good big three. But this deal needed to happen quickly. And when it didn't, I'm told Toronto was informed from Sacramento that they are out. They're not involved right now.
Damn.
But these things can be fluid. We're a month out from the trade deadline. At this point, I'm told the only way it really ignites is if Toronto comes back to Sacramento to re-engage. The one thing to remember as well is Pascal Siakam is going to be a free agent in the offseason, and unless he signs an extension with the Raptors. And his free agency, will he re-sign with that team? Will he commit to a team long-term when he's traded, like a team like Sacramento or wherever?
Yeah.
Dallas, Atlanta, Indiana, all teams interested in Pascal Siakam. But if you're going to trade for a guy like that, give up multiple assets, multiple rotation players, you want to know where you stand in the summer. And so this is a complex situation.
Okay, reading between the lines there. The Kings backed out, said Shams. The Kings said, nope, we're out. He also said the only way it reignites is if Toronto comes back to Sacramento. So if that's true, the Kings said, nope, we're out. And it only happens again if Toronto comes back to the Kings. That means that the Kings made some kind of offer that Toronto said, nope, we don't want to do that. And the Kings said, all right, forget it. So the only way it happens is if Toronto circles back, goes, okay, maybe we're open to that, which seems unlikely, especially if the deal revolves around Harrison Barnes.
Come on, man. Y'all got to be real. Look,
I'm sure there's more to it than that.
I'll take three things from the whole Pascal Siakam over the last 72 hours and Shams reporting the last 3 things that he's reported. First thing is first. Totally agree. The Raptors, Masai Ujiri, and their camp put this out on Friday, which Drape said.
Yeah.
Got to give them love on that.
Yes.
I agree with them on Friday. I think that's spot on. This was a Raptors thing. They threw that out there because I believe seeing what they got for OG, you're probably not getting that for Pascal right now because now people are like, oh, okay, you got 2 good players, but no picks really, nothing in there. I'm going to try to lowball you. I think that's what's really happening, and Toronto is trying to up the ante. The second part of it is someone said this Friday, and I believe it was a caller and or a texter, YouTuber, and you guys agree, Monty does a lot of things in stealth. I know Styles and Watkins, they talked about it. He does a lot of things in stealth. And when you come out and put a report out there where it's like, oh, yeah, Sacramento's interested, I think he's like, you know what? Somebody right now, call him. Let's nix that in the bud.
Yeah.
Like, bring that back down.
Right.
Because now people know we're moving and grooving. We're shakers at the deadline and all that. Like, look, I know you know, but we don't need the public to know. Cut it down. That's the second part. And the third part is just what you said. If Monty McNair, Paul Johnson, the front office of the Kings, Wes Wilcox, anybody that believes Harrison Barnes is going to get the job done with Pascal Siakam is a problem.
Yeah, I'm sure there was more there, but it seems to boil down.
Of course, there's more there.
Yeah, of course. Seems to boil down to Toronto, like not being crazy about the offer, trying to nudge things forward.
Would you, Whitey, would you be, if I picked up the cell, if I hit you with a quick text like, bam, 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 man, holla at your boy real quick, Whitey, man, you know I want to conversate with you. And then you pick up the phone and you Masai Ujiri, and you're like, you know what, big time, this your boy Double M Monty McNair, man. Everything cool up there. Glad we about to play y'all on Friday. Everything is good. I want to get a real up close and personal look with Pascal. Can we send somebody over to have a conversation with him or whatever? Okay, whatever the case may be on the under, even though we're not supposed to tamper. Oh, by the way, okay, yeah, for sure, Monty, what you thinking about? I'm thinking about starting something. Let's go with the ultimate professional Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
Hey, Monty, is there something else you want to say? Yeah, well, that's kind of where I want to start with Harrison.
Right.
And then, we got some pick. Like, if that's the first thing that leads off and you're Masai Ujiri, nothing against Harrison, but I mean, we're talking about an all-star versus nothing.
Right. Especially when the deadline is still coming.
Come on.
And teams are gonna make better offers right at the deadline. And so if you're gonna get Toronto to do something now, you gotta wow them, right? You gotta, hey, I'm gonna make you an offer so good that it's not even worth it for you to wait till the deadline. Let me tell you about my deal. It starts with Harrison
Barnes.
Yeah.
Okay, Monty, what else are we talking here?
Well, Herder, Davion, some picks, whatever. But let me tell you about Harrison Barnes. He's got it. He's got some hardware. He's won a ring.
Yes.
So
17 million. We're getting close. We're halfway there.
Yeah.
If I throw in Harrison, we're halfway to the 30 million that we need to suck up the Pascal Siakam contract. I get it. There's math to it. There's, like you said, one thing about HB. No one can argue about how pivotal he's been to Sacramento off the floor. And I'm pretty sure inside the locker room, the things that we don't get to see, a lot of times we're not privy and we don't have a conversation. But the one thing is I would be shortening the Kings fans and all the listeners. If I don't keep it real, Whitey, it's not correlating to on the field. I mean, on the court. It's not. Point blank, period. And that's the one thing that I say all the time. That's cool, because how many times do we have the argument of the Ja Morants, the Bridges, or guys who have the talent and do things on the court, and they're not even able to, Kevin Porter Jr., and we can't even see the things that they, the greatness or what they bring to the court because they can't get it together off the court.
Yeah.
It matters.
Mm-hmm.
But we're at a point too, I need to see something that I'm paying you to also perform. The performance is not there. I don't want to go to a Broadway show and then hear about I don't want the credits just to roll for 2 hours. No, I want to see a performance too.
Mm-hmm. Here's what's really important about this, I think. Ultimately, it may not matter because if nothing happens, nothing happens. But I know some people have been saying, oh, the Kings backed out because Siakam doesn't want to stay. But what Shams is saying is that the Kings backed out and nothing happens unless Toronto comes back to them. If it were true that the Kings are not interested because Siakam is not going to re-sign with them, there's no way Toronto would reignite it. So it sounds to me like the Kings have the framework of an offer out there. Toronto said, yeah, that's not going to do it. The Kings said, well, that's our best offer. And then Toronto is going to see what else they have and may come back to the Kings. So it doesn't sound to me like the Kings, based on what Shams said, doesn't sound like the Kings talked to Siakam. He's not interested. We're out. Because they had to know going into this, there was a good chance he wasn't going to re-sign.
Yeah, you talk to the agent quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah.
Is he even interested in being on the West Coast, California, Sacramento, facing the taxes? Does he like De'Aaron? Does he see himself in here with Domas? Like, oh, yeah, you got to have those conversations. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I would think you would know that pretty early on. Oh, we got to take quick time out. When we come back, we'll focus on the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, they lost yesterday, but that's all right. Playoffs are looming. Eric Crocker from Locked On Niners, former NFL defensive back, joins us with a look at what the 49ers' biggest concern is with the postseason approaching. Next year with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh, yeah. Let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Yeah, we're replacing the carpets too, so don't worry about that.
No fresh powder yet, but Dan's Ski Lodge has an avalanche of projects.
Those 4 rooms are getting hot tubs.
He needs a staff engineer to navigate a flurry of new requests.
And all of those will be fully ADA accessible.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916 Sactown Sports.
Yesterday I was at the Kings game, so, keeping track of the 49ers as best as I could. And then today before I came to work, I was watching that game. You know what, Jay? Sam Darnold looked pretty good yesterday.
Don't even start, man. Don't even start, Whitey.
I'm just saying.
Don't even start.
Did he not?
He looked all right to the second half. He couldn't move the ball at all in the second half.
Nice enough to join us with more on the Niners from the outstanding Locked On 49ers daily podcast, former NFL defensive back Eric Crocker. Eric, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Didn't Sam Darnold look pretty good yesterday?
Hey, look, man, when he had the other starters with him, obviously excluding George Kittle, didn't have Christian McCaffrey. But when he had Debo, when he had Ayuk out there and Trent Williams, all we saw was touchdowns go on the board. So, I agree.
Eric, you going to entertain that, man?
It's true.
Don't entertain it.
So right now, Brock Purdy, he's doing a great job. But he got the allegations on him that, hey, man, anybody can play in this system. And people wanted to see, well, what would Brock look like? And when he had the guys out, not Brock, Sam Darnold. But when he had the guys out there, he scored 2 touchdowns. So that's all I know. 2 touchdowns, 2 drives with the guys, and it was fun to see. It was cool to see.
Yeah. Although in all honesty, of course, and you know this a lot better than I do. I mean, the Rams pretty much just sat there in that 4-3, right? He didn't see a lot of exotic coverages, did Sam Darnold yesterday.
Well, they might be anticipating seeing the 49ers in the divisional round. So, you're like, all right, let's not show them too much. Let's not tip our hand. They already know us very well. But if you have some kind of game plan that you might, think you have to do in the postseason, let's hold off on that. Let's be real vanilla. Let's get Puka Nacua his record and then get out of here. And somehow they escaped with a win with turning Carson Wentz into Cam Newton.
Joined by Eric Crocker, host of Locked On Podcast with 49ers. Eric, let's start right there real fast. I, as a 49er fan, did not want to see the Rams win. And the reason why is I'm saying it right here, right now. I think the Rams, of all the teams in the NFC, scare me the most because they're familiar with the 49ers, and I wanted them to play the Cowboys to have a more difficult path to play the 49ers. Tell me why I should be wrong and not be worried about the Rams.
Well, I think you're right, but I think for me it's more so about who's that quarterback for them. And anytime you play a quarterback that is a veteran, he understands how to win. He understands how to play winning football. We watched him win the Super Bowl, a couple years ago, and starting to get healthy. Early in the year, they played a lot of games without guys like Kyron Williams, who ran for over 1,000 yards. They played a lot of games without guys like Cooper Kupp. Now all of a sudden you have those guys and they're healthy with Matthew Stafford. And then, obviously the offense being able to help a guy like, Aaron Donald a little bit more. I think for them, that's a recipe for success. And then I also think about just who's coaching them. Like Sean McVay has been a really good coach in the NFL. And I think because of the start to the season, people kind of counted them out. But now they stormed back. They're getting healthy. I think they are a very dangerous team. And I feel the posters out on social media. A lot of 49 fans are like, oh, here come the Rams. And people want to downplay it. But they are a scary team. Maybe one of the scarier teams outside of 49ers entering the postseason.
Catching up with Eric Crocker, former defensive back, host of the Locked On 49ers podcast. Other than injury, which I know is always at the top of the list for the 49ers and pretty much every team, but other than injury, what do you think the 49ers' biggest concerns are right now? And do we have to put Money Moody on that list after the day he had yesterday?
We'll see with Money Moody, and we might have to remove the money part in his nickname and just call him Moody by his last name. He has to show you that, hey, man, it can't come down to him making or missing a kick for you to win or lose a game. And unfortunately, especially in the postseason, games get really tight, and it might come down to that. So we probably don't have the same type of confidence in him that we had in Robbie Gould when he stepped on the field, missing 0 field goal attempts in the postseason. But I'd say outside of Money Moody, who hopefully it doesn't come down to him having to kick a field goal and win the game or not lose the game, I think it's the turnovers. But when you look at the 49ers and the games that they've lost, that's really what it comes down to. I'd say most coaches will tell you got to win the turnover battle and you got to win, 2 out of 3 phases of the game. But for the 49ers, that has really been their Achilles heel. In games where they've lost, they've just turned the ball over, especially late in games. I know the Ravens game, they started out turning the ball over, but it's just turning the ball over at an alarming rate. And that's the only way I feel like they'll lose the game. So if they can take care of the turnovers and not, get tight in those type of situations and play well, I think they're fine. They're going to be extremely difficult to beat. But unfortunately, in games that have been a little tighter, the Cleveland Browns game, they turned the ball over a little too much. The Minnesota Vikings game, 2 interceptions on the last 2 drives. The Cincinnati Bengals game, 3 turnovers in the second half. That's extremely difficult. So obviously take care of the ball, but the penalties, the turnovers, that would be the only way I see somebody beating the 49ers.
Eric, we saw Clelin Ferrell leave the game yesterday on the cart, and it sounds like from everything we've heard that he did not tear anything, and it may be one of those things where he's off a week or 2. Do you think there's any opportunity we see him in the 2 weeks from now?
I think with the 49ers, they have a solid amount of depth on the defensive line. So I don't think they have to rush anybody back, especially Clelin Ferrell. He's a guy that does multiple things for them because he can rush outside. They can do some things where they slide him inside as well. But, you do have other edge rushers, obviously trading for Chase Young, getting him in the middle of the year. You have Randy Gregory, you traded for him. And I know Randy Gregory and maybe even Chase Young maybe haven't had the impact on the field in the sense of sacks. But when you talk about just having a rotation of guys to keep guys fresh and keep them coming on the field, I think you have to like where you're at, and maybe they can hold off until a guy like Farrell, who is more depth on that defensive line, gets healthy.
Eric Crocker with us from the Locked On 49ers pod. Eric, what in the world happened to the Philadelphia Eagles?
I think that's the big question everybody's wondering. But, you kind of looked into last year, and I remember I was listening to Colin Cowherd, and he started talking about, like, all those close wins they had. And last year, you looked at the Minnesota Vikings that way. What happened to them? They got bounced out the playoffs right away. Well, this year, the Philadelphia Eagles, they were able to win all those close games. And I think because of last year, we were like, man, they're starting off their 10-1. Man, this is a super battle-tested team. But the moment they got that haymaker from the 49ers, it's almost like they just weren't able to recover. They lost the next 2 games after losing to the 49ers, and they just kind of lost their mojo. You see how they're talking to the media? It's almost like they're trying to convince themselves that they're the same team, but clearly they're not, and they're not able to figure it out. And now you got a banged up A.J. Brown. We'll see if he comes back for the wild card round game. But they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are just this hot team that, you just won't lose or can't lose. But I will say, right now, there's no game that's a given for the Philadelphia Eagles. They got to go on the road. They just haven't played well. Their quarterback is kind of being hampered a little bit by a knee injury. What is he going to look like? He didn't play well yesterday. Just their run game has been super inconsistent after a hot start early to this year with Swift. They started to try to get Gainwell going, but it's been all over the place, no consistency anywhere, and their defense has been really bad over the last 2 months. So really tough going for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't feel bad for them at all. I hope they keep losing.
That's right. I love where you're coming with it. Eric, you're a former DB yourself, and as playing that position, we look at the 49ers, and they've kind of been banged up in the last couple of weeks, especially with Jair Brown sitting and seeing Logan Ryan jump in there. Do you expect those guys to be at their peak here coming up in a couple of weeks, and you see Ambry on the outside with Jair Brown? Is that what we're looking at?
I hope so, man. First, I want to start by giving Diamador Lenore his flowers because, a guy who he came into this season is like, okay, he's going to play outside corner. And then you have some up and down play from Isaiah Oliver, who you had pegged in as your starting nickel guy. He was up and down. We saw him playing in that preseason game against the Raiders, and it's like, well, why is he the only starter playing? Well, apparently he just wasn't starting. They had already kind of benched him in that nickel spot. So Lenore had to slide inside, had to play there, and then Ambry Thomas wasn't playing well. So then they put Diamador Lenore back outside. He's been a utility guy who has really played well no matter where they put him. And obviously in the slot, you'll give him a play here and there. He gave up a deep ball to Terry McLaurin in that game. But overall, I think he has played exceptionally well. And he's been a really key piece for the 49ers, holding the secondary together. Outside of him, you look at the other guys, a lot of it is health with Travarius Ward. Guys have kind of been able to kind of get behind him a little bit, but it's been overshadowed by his ability to make plays and be consistent with that. So he's doing very well. And then Ambry Thomas, you talked about him, a little banged up, had to have surgery, I believe, on his hand. Hopefully that recovers fast because you want all hands on deck when the postseason starts.
If you haven't checked it out already, we recommend Locked On 49ers Pod. It's excellent. Eric Crocker, thanks for your time. It's been too long. We appreciate it. Hope to talk to you again soon. Thanks, Eric.
All right, anytime, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, how about those Philadelphia Eagles, huh? We'll take a timeout here when we come right back. And we are, speaking of the Eagles, we are expecting to hear from Drapes at some point here. The Eagles did get some good news today, but does it even matter? Next year, we got Jay in for Drapes today. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Monday forecast includes a mix of sun and clouds. Daytime highs in the lower 50s. We'll have increasing clouds tonight and chance for showers early Tuesday. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't. Right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville. Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85 or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry are here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Contact tax relief helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call tax relief helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax relief helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Yeah, as we get ready for the national championship game featuring one of the most, fascinating characters in all of Bay Area football history, Jim Harbaugh, who may be on his way back to the NFL. Whether Michigan beats Washington or not, go Washington. I'm telling you, Jay, this is a great way to usher the Pac-12 into the
history,
netherworld, right?
Finality.
Into history. Yes. This would be great.
It would be, but I mean,
all.
I got no love for the Pac-12. They let me down, man.
Why they didn't recruit you?
No. I was recruited by Pac-12, but and honestly, when I look back at it, I probably should have went to a Pac-10 school at the time, but they put their own foot in their mouth. Larry. It started with Larry Scott, former commissioner. Yeah, they just didn't do a good job of keeping the West Coast tied down. When it comes to sports. And now you got all these LA schools going to play big, in the Big Ten, and Washington following them. And, half the schools going to the Big 12. And man, here we go.
All right. That could all be true, but I still want Washington to win. And by the way, I can remember when it was the Pac-8. Yeah. I know it used to be the Pac-6. I don't remember that.
Way before my time.
Yeah. So anyway, Coach Harbaugh, maybe back in the NFL. His time with the 49ers,
I think
obviously.
it is. It's a given.
Yeah.
I think it's a given.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see the world respond to an Harbaugh championship and then figuring out, as he said, well, I'll talk about next week, which already lets me know he's going to the NFL. And I'm pretty sure he knows where he's going. Don Yee, his agent, his new agent, has definitely had conversations. Pretty sure the contract's on the paper.
Right.
Ready to go. Ink isn't dry. They're just waiting on Harbaugh to
how
sign
much you
it.
want?
Yeah.
All right. I can get you more than that.
Yeah.
Just, we
100.
got to play the game a little bit here between the Chargers and Raiders, but we'll get you where you want to go.
Ooh. Are you, speaking of head coaches, it's Black Monday, and we've only seen 2 go.
Arthur Smith and Coach Washington.
Ron Rivera.
The great Ron Rivera,
the
Riverboat Pac-12 from Cal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've seen, a few of them already be dismissed in Carolina and Los Angeles. So I think it's 5 openings, right? We have Washington, Carolina, LA, Las Vegas. I'm missing one, right? I'm missing somebody.
Yes, I think you are.
I feel like I'm missing someone who's already been let go. I don't know why, but
yeah.
Oh, Atlanta. There you go. 5.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure Harbaugh's getting a phone call for all 5.
Yeah.
Have you been surprised that we haven't seen 1 or 2 be let go more?
Well, there's a lot of those guys that just are recent hires, and some of them have done a decent job. Look at the game between the Colts and Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And you had 2 rookie head coaches, right? And they both did a great job.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Right there. Dayball did okay last year with the Giants. So he probably got Daniel Jones a wash. Salah's still getting one more, sounds like, because of the Aaron Rodgers situation.
You know who could be on their way out, depending on what happens with Drape's team? Nick Sirianni.
Nah, they're not letting him go.
Somebody's going
to
pay the price
Super
for that.
Bowl and then come back, go to the playoffs.
Yeah, but it's a disaster. They're talking about it there in Philly. That doesn't mean
That's
anything will
Philly.
happen, but
What
it's
happens?
being thrown around. They got some good news today because it looks like Jalen Hurts' finger, which popped out, a middle finger on his right hand, popped out yesterday. And he said, yeah, it's never happened before. So then Mariota had to come in, but Jalen Hurts' finger is not fractured. But they have to play a week from tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Their wild card game is Monday night.
Yep.
So if they win, they got a short week.
Yeah, I know.
That's disrespectful to an NFC champion.
It is, but you know what? Well, they didn't win an NFC championship. Well, the East, but you mean last year?
Last
NFC.
year.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
I would love for Tampa to win I'd love for the Dallas to win, and I'd love for Detroit. Tampa, come on over.
You're scared of the Rams, aren't
I'm
you?
not scared of the Rams. I just think the familiarity of what's going on with McVay, Shanahan, Rams history, whatever. I've been on record. I think the only way the Niners lose is if they're injured. Someone gets injured. I think if they're 100% healthy, and they're not, but if they're 100% healthy in the fact of the guys that they have going from what we can see here on out, I think they won a Super Bowl. They should. They really should. And if they don't, then that's a them thing for sure.
Or a Ravens thing. That's the only team if they're healthy.
Yeah, I mean the Ravens beat them, but as Eric talked about last segment, they had 2 or 3 balls go up in the air. Like, how many times you see the ball just go straight up in the air and an interception? Most of the time, those things hit the ground. You might give 1, but 3, like, nah. Mm-hmm. The first one was egregious. The first one was the one. It was a terrible throw. Right. Absolutely. But even if they score there, the game is already different. Mm-hmm.
Now, what did you think of what happened yesterday at the end of the game between the Saints and the Falcons and Arthur Smith before he got fired? He was furious at Dennis Allen because at the end of the game, the Saints were way ahead. They come out in victory formation, and then they have Jamal Williams run the ball for a touchdown.
Yeah, I think it's a Jameis Winston thing. I think from everything that we know, Jameis said that he and the players, meaning everyone that was on the field, they came to they pulled straws, and everybody said, you know what, let's go ahead and get Jay Will his first touchdown of the season, and they went ahead and did that. I think it's a Jameis and the team situation. I don't think it's so much on Dennis Allen. I think because he's the head coach.
Bad?
It does. It really does. And I've heard so many different people say, he's lost the locker room and they don't respect him. And yeah, I can agree with all of those things. I get it. But I think it's a lot on the players, and the players are kind of navigating through the fire and not taking the heat. And Jameis is taking a little bit because he's the quarterback. But it sounds like from everything that I've heard, he wasn't the only one. The other people in the huddle was like, no, forget that. Let's get him a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's probably more an indictment on Dennis Allen, and at the same time, the players just doing what they want. And they knew, the season was pretty much over. They were playing for something, but, season was over.
Yeah, but once you go, we're in victory formation, guys, relax. Ha ha, got you. That to me is like, that's really bad.
It's cold blood.
Yeah,
it is.
If you're going to line up, like, hey, we're going to run a play here, at least do that. It's not so much to run it up the score, which is a bad look, as it is victory formation. When you're telling everybody, we're just going to kneel. And we tricked you. Yeah. That's bad. And as far as a quarterback saying, well, that's what everyone wanted to do. Hey, I played Pop Warner. I know sometimes players want to run a different play.
Better believe it.
Hey, we're not running that play, guys. We're running the play that came in.
Really?
Well, it depends what the play is.
No, man. I've been part of teams where it's like, man, forget what coach said. We ain't doing that. Let's do what we do. Let's do it right now, especially if you're blowing somebody out or whatever, because all that's going to happen is you might get screamed at. Or what's going on? What you going to pull me out? We're blowing them out. No worries. Pull me out, please, anyway. I'm tired of playing.
Yeah,
I don't care, man.
Our coaches were the Del Rosario brothers. I didn't want them.
You didn't want that smoke?
Like, nope. We're running the play, guys.
Nah, see, Whitey, that's the problem, man. You're a company man.
Yeah, but you don't know the Del Rosario brothers.
I don't. Yeah, absolutely. I personally, it sounds terrible because it makes me sound as a poor sport, or like I don't care about coaching or what. That's not what I'm saying. I think the players should get more of the weight that's happening than Dennis Allen. If Dennis Allen has lost the locker room, or they don't respect him, I think they would have said that at this point, because if that was a problem, he'll probably be gone. Right now, the fact that he's got his job at 5:43 Central Time, I'm not saying he's not, and I hope he doesn't, because I don't want to see anyone lose their job. But I think that lets me know that he didn't lose the locker room. I think the players kind of did just what you said. Pop Warner was like, let's get him a touchdown. Yeah. And they did it wrong. They did it wrong, and he's the one that's got to take the heat for it.
My understanding is that he could keep his job if he agrees to redo his staff. And to me, you're already saying you're really close here. Yeah. Really close. And then on top of that, if that happened, I'm with you. I don't want to see someone lose his job, but he should resign. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Along with all the players that were on the field.
What'd you think of Shannon Sharp? I would cut
him. That's
And he was serious.
I know, man. I get the fact that what he's saying. What they could have probably did is look, hey fellas, other team Falcons, we want to get Jay Will a touchdown. I know we took a knee. Please don't be mad. We wanted to get a bonus, whatever they were searching for Jay Will to get the touchdown. What's wrong with saying that? I don't think they did it. Hence why, no one went over to the Falcon sideline, told Coach Smith or former Coach Smith, you got to be vocal.
You just can't do it out of victory formation. That's cheap.
Yeah, that is a cold part. It's cold. I can't defend that.
Yeah. When we come back, is the other Nike about to drop for your Kings next? Jay's in for Drapes today. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings. Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Paid for by government.com. Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-473-3993. And you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-473-3993. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-473-3993 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-473-3993.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Start your 2024 grilling season right with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. The Napoleon P500 series gas grill will turn you into a grilling pro. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters. And that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit. There are many things to love about winter. Cozy sweaters, celebrations, and family time. But winter can also bring many stressors, extra expenses, seasonal bugs, and so much family time. If you and your loved ones are feeling stressed or anxious this winter, Cal Hope can help. Check out our free mental health resources at calhope.org today.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Yeah, I got my request in. Haven't heard it yet, but hoping to hear at some point Ohio players love roller coaster because that's what we've been on as Kings fans. It was a week ago. Kyle Draper from the arena was telling us, hey, it's time to get off the roller coaster. And he meant it. He was sincere. I'll tell you, he was back on the roller coaster yesterday. I don't know if you saw Drapes, NBC Sports California. He was not happy. Well, with the way the Kings played yesterday against the Pelicans. Drapes is on the road with the Kings today. He should be joining us before we're done today. We got Jay in for him. And we got a question here, Jay, on the YouTube chat. Whitey and JJ, you guys think Fox is injured? Seems to be off. Hasn't been looking like himself the past few games. There has to be something wrong, right? That's from Manny Too Legit. And I know you played the audio a little bit ago. Coach was asked about that yesterday. He said he looks okay to me. You may want to ask him, but he looks okay to me.
Yeah, I don't think he's injured. I think he's okay. Just, sometimes you can't put together a few good games. It happens, especially when you are the number one scout on the opposing team. They're looking for it, and that's the next step. The next growth for De'Aaron is making sure that. One thing I've realized and I've heard and people have told me, and I'll never forget this. I was told this by a player in the NBA a while ago. Stars are stars, of course, for the natural things, but because they can pencil in exactly just about what we know we're going to get from you every single night. It's habitual. Some of the guys, they're 6 men, 8 men, into the number 5 starter. Sometimes we don't know what we're going to get from you. They're varied. They're roller coasters, as you talked about. And I think for De'Aaron, he has reached a level, Whitey, where his stardom is the last step of it is the guarantee of we know he's going to give us 25, 10, and 4. And I think that's his last part on top of making everyone around him better. Once those two things happen, if they ever do, I think we'll be talking about it. And it doesn't happen for everybody, but I think we'll be talking about a top 10 player in the league.
Yeah. That's one of the things that went wrong for the Kings yesterday, as Coach alluded to after the game. He had Keegan Murray, Duarte, and Fox combined to make only 3 more field goals than Zion Williamson, who did not play. It's also interesting to me that De'Aaron Fox has started struggling with his shot for about a week, and it was a week ago that Michael Pina wrote the piece in the Ringer about how De'Aaron Fox's numbers are off the chart. I don't know. Sometimes it's the worst thing you can be is aware of how well you're playing. Like, wow, I am. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. And then you have a Pelicans team that's very physical and knows how to defend him. So he's had a rough homestand here. De'Aaron Fox 1 for 10 yesterday for just 3 points. So the Kings are still hanging in there. They're playing well, as at least their record is competitive in the conference. I meant to say, I haven't played well this week, but is the other Nike about to drop? They play 12 of their next 14 on the road, Jay. Last year, they were excellent on the road. This year, again, we say we don't know what they are. I think we do know what they are. They are a very poor defensive team, and that makes them prone to lots of ups and downs. So I think it's imperative if they want to be a team that's serious about competing this year, they're going to have to try to find a way to make some kind of deal. Siakam, who I don't know, they have to do something.
You're looking for the talent.
Yeah.
You're looking for something else to brought in, shake up the team. I got you. I mean, well, they're in Detroit, so let's start there. I think we're on the same level here, Whitey. Charlotte, was that Monday? To me, was the same as Detroit. You had no business losing to Charlotte. I don't care. Like, that was the worst loss of the year for me. You don't lose to Charlotte at home, beginning of a 4-game homestand. They were missing their best player to me, down some other players. No way, no how. You got Detroit, you got Charlotte. I'm going to tell you this. If they lose one of those 2 games, I'll start to say, okay, listen, they're devoid of a little more than what I even thought.
It's worse than you thought.
Yes. No way, no how you lose those 2 games.
You said if they lose one of them.
One of those, yeah, but you shouldn't lose one of those games.
Right.
You got Philly. I expect them to lose that. You got Milwaukee after that. I expect them to lose that. You have Phoenix. That's a coin flip. I don't know where that goes. Then you got to kick right back to Indiana. They're playing well. They're hot. They're young. Atlanta, you got to go get that. Golden State, I'll let you call that one.
They're struggling too. They don't know what they are right now either.
Yeah, but they play the Kings so well.
And Draymond's back. Isn't that great?
I know, man.
Draymond's not even really back yet, and I'm sick of him already.
Come on, man. Then you have Dallas. Dallas, Memphis, Miami, back to Indiana, Chicago, Cleveland. So, I mean, you got the Indiana and the Hawks back here, right? If you really take those 2 out and you kind of look at, let's go down. You got Detroit, win or loss.
Yeah, you should beat the Pistons.
I didn't say that. I said, do you got to win or loss?
Yeah,
okay, that's a win. Charlotte?
Yeah, win.
Okay, so we got them 2-0. Philadelphia?
No.
Okay.
You don't win.
Milwaukee?
No.
So 2-2 going into Phoenix.
I have to wait and see how they're playing at that point.
Coin flipper right now.
They play very well. They play very well against the Suns. But after what I saw yesterday, no.
Okay, I'm gonna say 2-3. I think they go on a 3-game losing streak, and I hope Sacramento doesn't fall apart. I think they come here and beat Indiana because they home cooking, and then I think they beat the Hawks.
De'Aaron Fox will have a good game against Indiana.
He better, because if he doesn't, we know what's coming from the national media.
Yeah,
he better come out and put up 40 almost.
He knows it, and
exactly. So I have them 5-3. You have them what? You don't want to call the Phoenix game. Next state.
No, I said that's a loss.
Okay, okay. So you have them 3-4. Then you have them Indiana.
That's here.
16th.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not dodging your question, but I have to see how they right the ship.
I'm just trying to go next 10. Where you going, Whitey?
Yeah,
or nay?
They'll win at home. They'll beat Indiana.
So you got them 500 again heading into Atlanta here. Home. You got them beating the Hawks?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have them Golden State, Dallas, Memphis, Miami. They head back on the road. Indiana, Chicago, Cleveland.
They will beat Memphis.
Golden State in Golden State?
No.
Dallas in Dallas?
Nope.
Miami in Miami?
Nope.
Oof. Pacers at Pacers?
Nope.
Ooh. So
you're down on them right now.
So I see.
That's what I'm saying. The other shoe's about to drop.
Ooh-wee. So you're telling me you have them 500 going into Indiana, Atlanta here. So they're going to go 4-4. And then heading on the road, you have them just about losing. You got them at Chicago, right? You got them at Cleveland or no? Yay or nay?
Oh, they'll lose to Cleveland.
They'll lose to Cleveland. They'll beat Detroit, Denver. That's tough, man. You basically have them going 500 the next 10 games. So give or take a game, and then you have them losing like 4 straight.
Yeah.
Golden State, Dallas. You haven't beat Memphis, so they'll sneak that out. No Miami, no Pacers. Back in Chicago, yes, and then leaving Cleveland. So you have them in the next 12, 13. They're probably going to go 5-7, 5-8.
Could be worse than that. This is a very vulnerable time for this team. After this,
that's why you have the other shoe dropping.
Yes, this homestand went badly, right? It's easy to say, oh, you can whistle through the graveyard. Hey, 2-2 in the Orlando, that was a great win, but 2-2 with some bad losses in there. I'm not going to say it could have very easily been worse, but they were fortunate to be 2-2. So I'm concerned when the coach is saying, I apologize to everyone who spent money to watch us play. I'm concerned, very concerned. How about this? This is from Brian. Brian, thank you for listening. I honestly think there may be a trade involved and Fox's emotions are getting to him. It's an interesting theory. I don't think so.
What trade hadn't happened?
I assume you're talking about a trade involving him.
No,
I mean, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, De'Aaron's not on nobody's.
Now, if
block.
you're saying that he knows they're going to make a deal and he's not happy about it, maybe I can't imagine they'd make a trade without him being on board with it right now. That'd be tricky.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't think that's it. But it's an interesting theory.
Yeah. I don't see why he would be playing bad in the form of knowing a trade is coming and just all of a sudden you're soaking in. We're getting ready to make a trade. No, we're trying to get better here. And understandably, I think De'Aaron understands this is a business. I know he understands this is a business because he just turned down 2 years for $125 million, knowing he's going to make more money in the next couple of years.
Right.
He knows it's a business.
See, that's what's got to really stink for him. The way he's struggled here is because he's got to make all league to have a chance to make the most money.
Correct.
Yeah. And then he's been on track with that.
He's there, though.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, he's top. He's an all-league guy.
I know, but he scored 3 points
scoring
yesterday.
Well, I mean, I can't argue that, and I'm not trying to defend that either. I get it.
I'm just saying it's got to be, it's admirable the way he's betting on himself. And, of course, he's going to make a ton of money.
Yes, either way.
We have from Compio, Monk gets traded, close up shop. So one of the things that was being thrown around is that Monk's name came up in the Toronto talks and that was one of the things that shut things down. I don't know if that's true, but the Kings are not going to trade him.
Yeah, I don't think I think Monk is one of the 4 on this team who's untouchable. I truly think Keegan Murray's touchable before Malik Monk. I think you have a better opportunity to picking up the phone to call Monty and get him to budge on Keegan Murray than you have Malik Monk.
What kind of offer would you have to make, to get Keegan from the Kings? Because he's young, under club control. They've got a lot invested in, blah, blah, blah. For where they are, it's hard to find someone who's a better value.
Well, I presented a couple names to you.
But those are, so theoretical.
Yeah, very true. But theoretical starts, that starts the conversation. You have to pick up the phone and be real with yourself and understanding that, look, Keegan, and by all means, I'm hoping Keegan turns into the scorer and the person and the player and the all-star that the Kings expected when they drafted him. I think he has great upside. I'm not sure Keegan ever turns into a multiple 5-6 time all-star, guy who's going to put up 22 and be the second guy on a championship team. I'm not sure. And I think that's what the Kings are hoping and betting and wishing and praying on.
And then they might even need that.
Yeah, they absolutely need it.
Yeah, we got to take a quick timeout. When we come back, the booze yesterday, where they warranted. Somebody told me something very interesting about the booze yesterday. Share that with you when we come right back. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Slayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of Tax Slayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use Tax Slayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. Tax Slayer. File fearlessly.
5 dealerships, 1 location. The Knight Group is now in Elk Grove with Elk Grove Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Elk Grove Subaru, Acura, Audi, and Volkswagen. If you're searching to service or shop for a new vehicle, Knight has it. Trucks, SUVs, sports cars, hybrids, EVs, you name it, Knight has it. Over 2,000 new and used vehicles to choose from, and the Knight Group makes it easy with expert financing, quick service, and a simple 2-step process to value your trade-in. So start and end your search at KnightHasIt.com. That's KnightHasIt.com.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
From Julian, who says, Cade Cunningham, Isaiah Stewart out tomorrow, LaMelo out in Charlotte. We got to win those games. Yep. Even if they played. Yep. Got to win those games. Right?
Sound like Monday. LaMelo out. Got to win that game.
Yeah. And then we've got some trade ideas. And I'm not going to mention that this is from Beamer Beams Beamley. But come on. We're better than this, Triple B, aren't we? What about Toronto, LA three-way with Pascal going to Lakers? We get D'Lo for the second unit and start Monk. How is D'Angelo Russell going to make the Kings any better? He didn't guard it. He has no interest in guarding people. The Kings now, most of the players on the team, at least they have interest in trying to guard people. They're not very good at it. And the coach points out, we're not very good at it, but they try. D'Angelo Russell has like no interest in playing defense. I've watched him. I remember when he was with the Warriors and he, on one possession, he guarded somebody and Draymond Green said, well, now we know you can do it. So now we're going to expect you to do that. He has played well for the Lakers, but that's not the type of deal we need. That's just moving pieces around. If the Kings are going to do something, they need to do something impactful. You need to bring in somebody who's going to make them better defensively, Jay.
Well, Whitey, I think we've come down to a point, and there's going to be some names who move who we don't know.
Yeah.
Right. There's going to be some people, some pieces. I don't want to call them pieces, but they're going to be some players who will be traded, and we haven't heard their name be tossed around anywhere. Who do you have your eye on? Like if you're fantasy GM, whatever we want to call it, who's Whitey picking right now?
Well,
who are you pinpointing?
Julian has this name. Drapes and I have talked about him. Caruso would make us better.
But how much better?
He would make you significantly better defensively. He would make your bench better. Right now, one of the reasons the Kings can't even think about starting Monk, which I think they're against anyway, and they should be, but I understand a lot of people, and I think you're one of them. My buddy Chris says you should start Monk. The Kings really struggle. Yeah. Huh?
I said shout out, Chris.
Yeah. When Fox is off the floor and Sabonis off the floor, but when Fox is off the floor, you look it up, it's like, wow, there's a drop off. They need somebody, and Monk can play the backup point when Fox isn't there. One of the reasons you need Monk off the bench is because he helps balance when Fox isn't there.
But I think you can stagger him a la what you used to see with Steph and Clay. I think you can pull Monk quicker than you pull De'Aaron. You used to see it with Steph and Clay.
Tricky. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, Clay would come off maybe after the first 6, sit for a quick 4, because by the time Curry would play the extra 2 and then the timeout, the TV timeout and all that, then you come back, Curry sits, Clay finished his last 4. I think you can stagger them. There's a way to stagger them in the fact of, I get Monk is one of your top 3 or 4 guys on this team, and I understand you need the power off the bench, but I think that just tells me, and it's just what you're saying, then this team is defunct of talent. They really lack the amount of talent that most people believe coming in. And, it kind of, I want to pat myself on the back, but it kind of makes me look good in the fact that I believe you should have moved Herter. You should have moved Barnes. You had the opportunity to do those things. And a lot of Sacramento Kings fans have said that for a long time. Move some of these guys that the Kings seem to have. And again, we don't know. Why? Let me make sure I preface it that I don't know what phone call, who been called, why they haven't moved these guys. Maybe they truly think these guys are championship talent. Then if that's the case, we got to roll with it and we got to swallow the pill. But if what we're hearing is said, is true, rather, some of these guys aren't with championship talent. They don't believe it. They believe they need to shake some things up. Let's get on with it. Understand, there's a season to everything. I'm not pressing the panic button. I'm not saying it has to happen tomorrow. I'm saying, and I've said this, they should have did it when they were at their peak. When Kevin Huerter had the highest trade value, which was probably at the end of trade deadline last year or this offseason, make the move. If you believe that coming in, then you still believe it now.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that. And I'm one of the people saying, make a move. If you're having to improve by acquiring free agents or making trades, you are limited by what's available.
Truth.
Now, if you develop your own guys like Oklahoma City has done, and you've got all these picks, then you're not as dependent on you're not as dependent on foreign oil, so to speak.
Yes.
But you know what I mean?
Of course.
So, yeah, last summer, and that's one of the reasons Kings fans are so anxious right now. It's like, let's go. Let's do something. Let's do something. And they looked around and what was available is like, okay, those are some good names, but they don't, all things considered, do they make us better? We'll bring back Harrison Barnes. All right, so now's your next chance to get better. The deadline approaching. Is there anybody there yet? I hope so. Maybe, the smart move would be, I don't think so. Then that's kind of a little bit discouraging to think what's going to happen the rest of the year. Caruso's a good player. DeJounte Murray's a good player, but he's not a perfect fit. I think he'd be a guy that I'd be interested in. The Siakam, I was hoping that something would happen there just because I think it would, at least in the short term, make you better.
Yeah.
Huge risk, though.
I
don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm looking to win it all, though.
Win?
I want to win it all. I'm not sure Alex Caruso was bringing him now, changes that trajectory. And maybe not this year. If you want to say, okay, it makes this team better and gives them a building block to move forward next year, I can respect that.
He's one of those guys, and you know this, you watch. Other guys, he's not fun to play against. He'll make you feel him. The Kings right now, you watch these last 4 games, teams, they enjoy playing against the Kings.
Yeah.
They get behind, it's all right. We'll
no problem.
Yeah. We're like Toronto. We're 21 down. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Charlotte, we're behind. We're all right. Yeah. They don't, as much as Mike Brown talks about, we got to make the other team feel us. He's right. They're just not capable of doing that. At least Caruso can give you a little bit of that. He's another guy that a lot of other teams are interested in.
He's a piece.
Yeah.
If I'm hearing you correctly, he is a piece on the trajectory of where you're heading, he plays an integral part in what the Kings are missing.
He makes you a little better short term. To your point, you're thinking we want to win a championship. By the time this team's good enough to win a championship, he's probably not helping you anymore.
Yeah, like I don't see him being a part of this team. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think he is the quintessential, he's the KCP.
Mm-hmm.
He's the, that type of character where it's like, we're one person away, maybe two. He's one of the two, and maybe we can get by with a few things. I think the Kings need a star. I think they need, and that's hard to come by. And that's the toughest part about it is for the Kings to win a championship, I truly believe they're missing a bigger integral piece than Alex Caruso. I think he's like the last part of the car. I think we're missing.
I understand that.
Yeah, like we need a bigger part of it. Like
right.
we
he's
might
like a finishing piece.
Yes.
Like this thing isn't finished.
No.
I
yes. And
that.
I think that's where I'm looking. And I like the fact that the Kings have movement. They have ability to move around. I think that's where most people are looking at the Pascal Siakam is like, look, this can be almost a final piece to the puzzle, and then we go get a Caruso. Now, if you bring both of those guys in, now we cooking with grease. Let's talk about it. Let's build on it for the next year.
Siakam he'd be foundational piece for you if he was going to stay.
Yes.
But he's probably not going to stay. So then it's like, well, then why do we do it just to get better now?
That's why I think it won't happen
from here. Yeah. How do you build it? A championship team from here, a team capable of winning a championship. We'll take a real quick timeout. The boos yesterday. Maybe you were one of the people booing. Were the boos warranted? I'll tell you what, a former NBA player told me about the booing at the Gold One Center yesterday. Surprising. When we come right back, it's a Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Harrison Barnes plays here.
Harrison Barnes drives it, hammers it. The Black Falcon soaring into the night sky on a Monday evening in Northern California.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't. Right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. People come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing to keep the Grinch away from the toy drive.
Who's going to deliver the toys to the kids?
What about me, the Grinch? No. Yep, even easier than that.
You steal the presents one time.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One NA, member FDIC. Copyright Dr. Seuss Enterprises. Copyright Turner Entertainment Company.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Because the Kings were losing yesterday by as much as 50, the term boat raced comes to mind. It's Whitey, Jay, Kyle Draper on the road with the team. He should be joining us bottom of the hour, however. Do you know what the term boat race means? I had to look it up a few years ago. I'd heard it. I know you lost by a lot. You got boat raced. Actually, it means a little more than that. It has to do with rowing in England, Oxford, Cambridge, in like the 1800s. They would do the rowing in the Thames River. Boat race means what they do is whoever gets to the middle of the river first, that's where the current is swiftest. So whoever got out there first, like, boom, gone, it's over. So, like, it's all you had to do. It's like the idea, we just want to get to the middle of the river first. And then, so it means it's over early and you have no chance. That's what getting boat raced is. And that's what happened to the Kings yesterday.
Yeah.
It was over early and they had no chance. Pelicans got in the middle of the Sacramento River, whatever river it was, and whoosh. The Kings were never going to catch them.
Yeah, current. I mean, they didn't even have their sail up.
No, they didn't need it.
Yeah, they were rowing the boat, and the Pelicans had the automatic joint.
Yeah,
they had the speedboat.
So, boo! Halftime, I saw Antonio Daniels, who's an analyst for the Pelicans.
Yes.
May remember last time they were here, we had him on the show, and he said, "I don't remember ever." He said, "When I used to play here, we play against Sacramento. I never remember the Kings getting booed in their own building." Now, I, of course, do remember, if you're a longtime Kings fan, you've seen that, but it's been a while. But he was wondering, well, it's not like they're playing hard. Why are they booing them? And it's because they got annihilated yesterday, and they didn't look like they really cared. That's the thing, right, Jay? That's why the boos were, obviously the boos are warranted if your coach says, "I apologize to everyone who paid money for that."
Yeah, expectations. I just continue to go back to that word. I think the expectations here in Sacramento has changed for good. And I believe the organization, they value that expectations are there. Some of the players they value that expectations are, and the fans. We expect different. We don't expect the run of 16 years Kings and, barely being challenging teams like the Pelicans who come in here. And, one of the things that popped in my mind, Whitey, when you were sitting there talking about the Kings versus some of these different teams is, and how they push back on the Kings, like the Raptors down 21, who cares? We playing the Kings. Good teams, when they get you down, you kind of already mentally like, that game might be already over.
Right.
And for the longest, teams would come to Sacramento as a get-right game. This is a get-right game. When we come in to play the Kings, if we're on a losing streak or if we're down, this is time to work on some things. And that was one of the things that you would see, teams would come in here and their seventh and eighth and ninth player coming off the bench. They would have great games against the Kings. Because it was a get-right game. And now I think the expectation, at least for a lot of Kings, if I'm speaking correctly, like they don't want that no more. They don't expect this to be a get-right game. They don't expect for this team to have these type of episodes where you lose to Charlotte when Charlotte's lost 11 in a row.
Right.
You don't lose to the Pelicans by 33. It'd be different if they were competitive. And I think that's why you saw the boos.
Yep.
And for me, to answer Antonio Daniels' question, it's warranted because expectations have changed. And, no longer does, as a Kings fan or, someone who watches, you hear these different people every single day who come up to us and have the opportunity and call in and those type of things, Whitey. They don't want to see that no more. They're tired of it. They left that behind last year, prior to last year when they didn't make the playoffs 16 years ago. And now, look, tickets are higher. It's a little more expensive to slide through the G1C. It's a little more to go down there and park if you choose to drive. It's not Arco. They don't have their self-parking. Right. You got to find you a garage or somewhere to slide in. It's a great situation to have that. But let me give you an example real quick, Whitey. In my music career, managing folks and being around music for years and working at Time Warner and all these different things, I tell the generation, I say this to my daughter now quite a bit. This I know I'm becoming an OG here, Whitey.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm blessed to be here, by the way. When I was growing up, especially for you, you had to go out to a store to buy a person's music. That was a tape, a record, a track, whatever at your time, you had to actually put effort in to go buy someone's art.
I never bought an 8-track, by the way.
I'm just saying. I know that. I'm not saying you. I'm just, playing to our audience. You never know.
Gotcha. Sure.
Now, you don't have to.
Press
Get YouTube, press a button, get on your phone. Most of us have some type of subscription to a music, music subscription, and it's a lot easier to play music. I don't like it. Buy, skip, fast, quick, where you have to put the time, the effort. I used to have to ask my mom to take me to Tower and Virgin and Sam Goody and all these type of places, right? The warehouse, exactly. That was a thing.
I know.
That was time, effort, my hard-earned money, whatever case it was, my mom's hard-earned money. That was the thing. And so now with the glitz and the glamour of Golden One Center and with the Kings being hopefully on the up and up, we expect more. It's expectations.
Yep.
And that's it. So when you're not happy,
but it's not like we expect that much more. It's not like these are unrealistic expectations, right? They're not unreasonable expectations.
Agreed. That's why you don't go out there and get tap danced on for 33.
Yes.
Agreed.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, because you took your hard-earned money, your time, the effort to get up to the arena, have a great time, not saying it's not a great experience. I'm also saying you have the right to go in there and boo.
Right.
You don't like what you're getting? Go ahead and let somebody know. I'm all for it.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. TC has been hanging on. What's up, TC? How are you?
Man, what's up with my guys?
Were you booing yesterday, TC?
Yeah, man, I was watching from the TV, and man, I was booing. But see, unfortunately, like me, we all diehards or whatnot. I watched the whole game. I said the Niners lost by 1 point. I was watching the Kings game. Imagining in my mind, I said, you know what? If they can get a mini run going on, they can come back in this game. This would be one of the biggest comebacks ever.
Yeah,
that's how I was thinking, man. Jay, give me a minute, man. But seriously though, so after I seen that, I said, man, these dudes need to step up. Seriously, man. Mike Brown coming out apologizing and all that. Man, this team needs to step up, but Monty needs to make moves. Period. Point blank. Even if this team goes on a winning streak, and the moves that I have, I'm not out on Siakam, but I'm out on Siakam now. I'm saying, you know what, Monty, turn towards Kuzma. He can be traded into the 15th. And if they offer it, if they want 2 first-round picks, give it to him, Monty. 2028 and 2030 for Kyle Kuzma. I'm taking that. Then I'm turning around. I got a couple trades. I got 2 more. Then I'm turning around, and I'm going over there to Portland. What y'all want to do for Thibault? I got Davion and a second-round pick.
All right.
For Thibault. Also, Atlanta got the fire sale going on. So now check it out. What y'all want to swing for Clint Capella? What y'all want, Kevin back? Or y'all want Barnes and some type of little weird package that we can do a couple second rounds for Clint Capella? That would be a steal. Kyle Kuzma, Clint Capella, and Thibault. That's the 3 moves.
Thank you, GFTC. Appreciate that. I have been since the summer anti-Kuzma, but after yesterday, you're saying Kuzma. I'm like, yep, why not? Why not? When we come right back, Kyle Draper should be joining us from the wonderful city of Detroit. See what he thinks of TC's deals and your deals. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. It's a Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay partly cloudy tonight with overnight lows near 40. During the day tomorrow, we'll see a couple of light showers in the morning with dry weather for the afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Don't miss out on New Year's savings at Folsom Lake Kia. Low prices and payments on your favorite new Kia models. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 25 years or FolsomLakeKia.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220, 800-859-3220, or biglou.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
We've been struggling all day to find answers to whatever that was that happened to the Kings yesterday. Thanks for being with us, Drive Guys. You know that Kyle Draper is in Detroit today, so Jay filling in and joining us now after it had to be some kind of flight for the Kings. Here he is, the one and only Kyle Draper. Drapes, how you doing after that embarrassing loss yesterday?
Oh, man, I tell you what, Whitey and Jay, I'm just I'm still hurt.
Yeah.
I'm still emotional. You know, we hopped on that plane, flew to Detroit, went to practice, and I'm still like hurt by it all, man. And I said it on the post-game show. It's just like, these are our guys. These are the guys we cheer for. And to have them lay down like that and not come out with any sort of sense of urgency, you know, it stings, man. It's like having a kid or a girlfriend or a wife or a husband, whatever it may be, and you're just disappointed. And that's what I came away from yesterday, just a feeling of disappointment.
What was the very least you expected from the Kings? We know that it's a tough matchup. Mike Brown said, you got to give him credit, but Mike Brown also said we brought no fight whatsoever. What was the very least you expected from the Kings yesterday, Kyle, that you didn't feel you saw?
Yeah, I expected at least some fight, some passion. I thought if they were going to lose the game, it would be because shots didn't fall. That happens sometimes. But there was no energy from the team and in turn the crowd right from the jump, like right from the get-go. And I know us in the media, we like to hype things up, this is a big game, must win and all this. But you got to feel like at some point the players and coaches felt that way too, in terms of, all right, these guys have kicked our butt. We got to have a good showing. And I go back to disappointment. That's the most disappointing thing. We all knew what that game meant. Sure, it's just one of 82, but it meant so much more. And the Pelicans, give them credit. They came out with a sense of urgency. And, one thing I noticed, too, when looking at the Pelicans, they're an elite defensive team, and they stick to their defensive principles. And, they may not have the big names, the all-NBA players or anything like that, but they play together, especially defensively, as a team, and they follow what the coaches are preaching. I think sometimes, we may have a game plan, but sometimes we'll veer from that game plan defensively, and that's frustrating.
Drapes, I don't mean to jump ahead and just forget about yesterday, but the great part about having someone like yourself on this show, being a part of this show, is you get to be around the team, hence the flight, heading to Detroit, and of course the practices and getting to sit in. What's your thoughts on how the team has bounced back from yesterday?
It's interesting. I think you could sense a sense of, how should I put this, embarrassment, if you will.
Sure.
Like guys aren't walking around with their heads held high. Like, we the Kings. We, you just don't get it. You get that feeling like, I'm king of the analogies and cliches, fellas, and I'm gonna put it to you like this. I feel like our guys are like a puppy dog who just got scolded and they know they did something wrong. And so the heads hang a little low and things like that. I feel like they're embarrassed. Like they know what we saw last night was not who they want to be and who they are. And so, like you said, GJ, the best thing about the NBA, man, you get to turn it around tomorrow. And we've seen this from time and time again this season with this team. It's like our hope is that what we saw the other night won't happen again. They'll come out fired up, ready to go. But I don't know. You just never know with this team. And I think that's the frustrating thing for fans.
Drapes, yesterday at halftime, I was talking to your friend Antonio Daniels, and he was saying, he said, and all the time I played here against the Kings, he said, I don't think I ever heard fans booing them, which some of us, we have heard that, but it's been a while. What did you make of that? I know from what Mike Brown said yesterday, and he apologized to those who paid for it. I think you'd have to say that booing was warranted.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel bad for the fans. And some of them, voiced their displeasure to me as they were leaving. Drapes, I don't believe this, and I get it. And I understand that. And, we talk about how this is the best fan base in the league, and they are. And they deserve better than what we saw yesterday. That's for sure. And I'm a firm believer, guys, that fans, you have every right to boo. If your team's not getting it done, let them know. Because, we know as well as everybody, these tickets aren't cheap, especially it's family day. So you got the kids out there, you got the husband, wife, family of four, you're spending several $100s to buy a food and then to lay down like that. And so, no, rightfully so. And I will say this, it's on the players because they didn't give the fans a chance to even engage in this game. Like we got down right from the jump.
Yep.
Pretty much. I mean, De'Aaron Fox hit the first, 3, but after that, it was all Pelicans.
Yeah.
And so we didn't even go on a nice little 10-0 run, 12-0 run to get back in the game to give our fans any kind of hope. I mean, our fans were sitting there with their hands under their butts because what else could you do? And I said it on the postgame show. I'm walking on the concourse, fellas, and I felt like I was in The Walking Dead. I felt like I was amongst zombies because we were just in shock at what was taking place. And I blame the players and the coaches and the team. That can't happen, man, especially at home. You're going to lose game. And I said it too. If you get blown out by the Celtics, Bucks, Minnesota's great this year, but the Pelicans, a team that kicks your butt 3 times already, man, that shows a lack of pride, a lack of fight, and that's not what we want our team to be.
Drapes, it's funny because I think a lot of what you feel is kind of what I feel, and I think Whitey, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm speaking out of turn here, and I believe what a lot of the Kings fans and onlookers saw yesterday. And to kind of use what you say, an analogy, one of the things when my daughter gets in trouble is she always asks me, Dad, are you disappointed in me? Compared to, am I just getting in trouble? Like, did I hurt your feelings?
Yeah.
And I think part of yesterday's game, more than ever, like Charlotte for me was kind of one of them things like, damn, like that's how y'all feel. Y'all gonna go out there and do that to me. Like, and I think yesterday was kind of the ultimate, like, man, you hurt my feelings type of situation. Is that kind of like what you were seeing from some of the fans yesterday? Because I know you like to hobnob and rub elbows.
I do. I like to kiss the babies and take the photos and
as
everything.
You're supposed
to. Yes, 100%, Jay. And I'm doing the post-game show, and I said it, man. And there's a clip out there on social media. I said, I'm hurt. I'm sad. I'm disappointed. I'm angry. Like, I was going through all the stages of grief right there yesterday because it did feel personal. I mean, how many times are we going to let a team kick our butt, And so I felt for the guys. I felt for the coaches, the players, because, we don't want this reputation to soft. And that's what we looked like yesterday.
Yeah.
And we look soft. Like, the Pelicans, give them a ton of credit. Like, they play with an edge, especially like they saved their best for us. I mean, Herb Jones is fantastic. I tell you, that's who we need. Anyway, I give up 2 first-round picks for Herb Jones right now. We need a Herb Jones on it because that dude is long, athletic, can defend. He plays with an edge defensively. And so it's like, man, they just embarrassed us in front of our own building. And I was talking to somebody here at practice earlier. I said, we gotta wear this until next game. Like, we gotta feel this pain and this hurt until we take the floor next game.
Yeah. Here's where I am with the Drapes. We've seen it before. And I think it was a week ago when we were getting ready for the Charlotte game. And you were saying, and understandably, you were saying, we got to get off this roller coaster. And, we just haven't been able to. We wish we could. To me, it's like, I don't wonder anymore. Initially, when the Kings would play great and they play badly, I would wonder, well, who are they? And now I feel like I've seen it enough to know that, no, that's part of who they really are until they get better defensively. Yeah. And I think Mike Brown talked about that. And to me, it just underscores the need to do something to improve the team defensively. Presumably that's with a deal, but I think
just don't have it in them. And I'm not saying they don't have the ability. I'm saying they don't have the effort and determination. And I was listening to you guys earlier, and we were talking about, what did you say, Jay? We need somebody to bring the ruckus.
Yeah, we need, absolutely.
You know what? I go back 2 years ago. We need Marcus Smart. That's what we need.
Yeah,
agree. We need, because what happened yesterday, sure, it may happen, but I tell you what, Marcus Smart is throwing something. He's challenging somebody. He's doing something. It ain't going to be sweet. You butt kick if Marcus. So we need somebody that, defensively can set the tone. And when things start to go sideways, we can see the passion, the fight on them. Like, that's what disappointed me about our guys yesterday. They just had a blank stare. You know what it was? They just got their butts kicked and they took it and asked for another one. You know?
May I have another?
Yeah. May I have another? Exactly. Yeah. They just took it last night, and that's what's so frustrating.
Accepted it, basically. Yeah. Drapes, 2 of the next 14 are at home, which is, for me, is very interesting for this King, especially right now coming off the 2-2 homestand out of the 4 games.
Crucial stretch.
Yeah, it is. And Whitey said earlier, he believes this is where the other Nike drops.
Unless something is done. Yes.
He said this is where the Concord Patent Leather 11 drops right here. So I guess what my question to you, Katie, is do you think, because this is the one thing about it, the Kings did very well on the road last year compared to home. It was like the opposite.
Yeah,
it almost felt like they wanted to be on the road compared to the expectations, or the want to here of being here. And so what do you think being on the road for your next, that'd be 12 out of 14?
Yeah. And it's a tough road too, man. You got the first 2 games, then you got Milwaukee, Philly, and Phoenix. And I think these next 2-3 weeks will make or break this season. I honestly think this stretch is that important. And, talk about the roller coaster, and there's going to be some ups and downs. I understand that. But I'm talking about psychologically with this team. Will the guys stay together? Can we keep this together? Because right now it's hard. Like, imagine we're riding a roller coaster. You got to imagine that they're seeing the same thing. They're seeing, 7 double-digit losses, 7 losses of 17 or more, whatever that number is. Like, they got to be feeling that also. And so I think, a lot of times they say teams bond together on a road, and it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if they have any team building, team bonding activities. I didn't see anything, but they got to come together. And, Mike Brown talked about it after the game. We hear it all the time. Players got to look at themselves in the mirror and can't look to the coaches or the game plans. No. And are you doing the best you can individually to help this team? And that's the point where we are right now. Because I think before the All-Star break, it can make or break this team season.
Great stuff, Drapes. We appreciate it. So you're back with us tomorrow, right? You and I doing a short one tomorrow before the game?
Yeah. Yes.
Don't let them off the hook. Don't wait. We're not finished. We are finished on this interview. We don't have nowhere to go. Dinner. What time dinner start, Drake?
Dude, it's late out here.
I know it is. It's 7:45.
9 o'clock. Yeah.
Man, have you had dinner yet?
No.
Oh, well, then you get that stomach can hold on for another 10 minutes. Let's talk about.
I was going to let you off the hook.
No, ain't no hook letting up. Do you think he would let you off the hook? I just want to hear your take of your boys heading into the playoffs, because honestly,
I wasn't going to do this to you, Drake.
At this point, I'm a big boy, Whitey. I can defend myself. You have to be like you almost have to be through with the Philadelphia. Again, I heard you say this maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
you're like, I'm ready for the season to be done. Is it is it finality now? Like, has all the hope been thrown in?
Not all hope. I mean, but I'm a fan glutton for punishment. I still believe there's a slimmer of hope there. This team can turn it around. But am I fooling myself? And I honestly, changes need to be made. Personnel, coaching wise, I don't think player wise too. I think maybe there might be some bad apples in that locker room that when the times get tough, they start chirping and talking and pouting and everything like that. And it's interesting. I don't know if you guys saw that interview with Javon Hargraves. I forget who he did it with. And he talked about the difference between Philly and San Francisco. He likened it to the Niners being more like the Miami Heat. You put in the work, you're grinding, Kyle Shanahan is like Pat Riley. Then he said the Eagles are more like Golden State. Laid back, chill, everything will be all right. Steve Kerr, Nick Sirianni. And I think what you're seeing with Philly is they lost that edge. It's sort of everything's not sweet. And they just feel like, oh, we can turn it on. And then you go to turn that switch and the light doesn't come on. And so y'all can hammer me. Y'all can hammer me all you want. Niners lost 2 this week. I mean, Niners lost 2.
But it was for nothing, though, Drapes. I mean, you were playing. Me and you should have went out and got some snaps for the Niners, man. That's what you riding with, brother? Of all the things, the Niners lost this week, too?
Hold up, Jay. Hold up.
Come on, man.
It's funny. Somebody tweeted at me, where you been at, Drapes? I ain't heard from you. Crickets. And I ain't got nothing to say. When your team is getting their butt kicked, you just be quiet.
Take it.
You just take it. I can't defend these guys.
I thought you were going to say that Sam Darnold's game proves that Purdy is a system quarterback. I thought you were going to go
there, right? No. We already know that.
Drapes, do you? Oh, go ahead, Drake.
Go ahead.
I'm
saying I can bringing up my Pascal Siakam story from the other day.
Oh, well, I was going to let you do that.
Right
no, I'm going to let you do that.
Nobody ain't saying Drapes. You were right about that.
No,
but there was some too. I mean, they did talk though, right? There were talks.
We knew that, but I told you it's not going to happen. I mean, not right now anyway. Now, Toronto may get desperate at the trade deadline, but it just didn't make sense at the time. And so I didn't allow myself writing. Unlike you,
I was all
Jay,
in.
some of the fans,
wasn't me. Yeah. Wasn't me. I said I agree with you. I thought Masai Ujiri and the Raptors were conjuring this up. I'm with you. I don't think the Kings have a shot to get past.
So is here where it is, Drapes? Is it kind of like the Kings said, "We'll give you this"? Toronto said, "No, that ain't enough." And then the Kings said, "Well, let us know if you change your mind." And that's kind of where it is. And they probably are not going to come back to them.
Yeah, I think, it's sort of similar. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Toronto looked at the roster and said, I want this guy or this guy. And Monty said, nope. All right, talk to you later.
I heard Monk's name. I know you hear a lot. I heard Monk's name might have come up too.
I didn't. I heard that, but I can't. Right. I didn't hear that from anybody. I know. Right. We're still a month away from the deadline. Exactly 1 month from today, and so teams aren't desperate yet. Right. The Raptors aren't as desperate just yet. Now, if it's February 5th, and they look and say, "Dang, ain't nobody, biting on this," then maybe they get desperate and sell low. Right. But we still got a lot of time and a lot of teams. You look at the Lakers; they're reeling right now. The Warriors. And so, if I'm Toronto, I'm not making that deal right now.
Right.
I want teams to present their best offers, and then I'll make that deal.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I apologize for Jake going after you on the Eagles.
I know.
Apologize for me, Whitey. This ain't no greeting card. The fact of the matter is, he got to take the smoke because the Eagles getting smoked out right now. That's all. It's brisket.
It ended for me December 3rd, big fella.
Yeah.
Once we lost to the Niners, it was a wrap. It was like, you know what? They ain't real. They not real. They not about this life. They ain't trying to win.
But just to fall off so quick, though, Drapes, like I thought, okay, those were heavyweights and they were swinging. And I thought, it was one heavyweight loss, but you had opportunity to bounce back. Mm-hmm. Let me get a get-right fight, so to say, in boxing, and then I'll bounce back and see you in the playoffs. For whatever reason, it's just like Philadelphia has just lost their, as you said, the swagger, to believe.
Yeah, I think it's, something going on behind the scenes, right? I mean, that the way they're playing right now is just, it's like they don't even believe themselves, that they can win. Like they're playing as if they can't wait for the season to get over, And so as a fan, it's disappointing, man, because I thought they had the talent to get back there, but my hope isn't high. You know what? They might go down to Tampa and get smoked this week, seriously, because I just get the feeling. I mean, you see how bad they look against the Giants? Mm-hmm. Like you said, they still had something to play for. Like Dallas barely squeaked by. Like they still had something to play for. And so I just think they're ready to get it over with. And I don't know if the coach is going to be there, defensive coordinator. I don't know what needs to happen, but they got some internal issues they got to figure out.
All right. Thanks, Drapes. Rest up. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Talk to you soon.
That's Kyle Draper from Detroit.
The D?
Yeah. He said the Cowboys just snuck by yesterday. I thought they actually.
That's how you know he stopped watching, because in the first quarter and a half. Yeah, it was the first quarter was tight. Then they went up 14-10, and then they 21-10 by half.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just brisket. It was a smoke out, 24-hour brisket.
Yep.
So you could tell as an Eagle fan, he just stopped watching early.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I would have too. As Michigan takes the lead over Washington, first touchdown opening drive. Donovan Edwards on it looked like about a 40-yard run or so.
Huskies,
but it's that's how you know he had checked out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because he's like, oh yeah, I just watched the first quarter, second quarter, and then let me go ahead and prep for the Kings real
Dallas
quick.
Squeaked by yesterday. Yeah. When we come back, Mike Brown apologizing to fans. Apology accepted. Next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay partly cloudy tonight with overnight lows near 40. During the day tomorrow, we'll see a couple of light showers in the morning with dry weather for the afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit. Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric, Heating, and Air.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't. Right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money. with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Golden One Center, January 26th to the 28th. Brought to you by BKT Tires and Great Clips. Visit monsterjam.com today.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
By Marriott, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working toward your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day. From comfortable guest rooms to complimentary hot breakfast. Fairfield is part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels and official hotel partner of the NCAA. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today. New year, new you. And what better way to start fresh than with a new ride from Elk Grove Kia? Nothing beats second. Whether it's a second shot at love, a second shot at life, or even seconds at the all-you-can-eat buffet. But when it comes to your next car, no one believes more in second chances than Elk Grove Kia. Bankruptcies, challenged credit, no problem. Our finance department specializes in turning challenges into triumphs. We guarantee no one does challenged credit better than us. Elk Grove Kia can get you into a new ride in 2024. Elk Grove Kia's finance department has over 100 years of combined experience. Elk Grove Kia's team can navigate even the most challenging credit pasts. We understand that life happens, and we're here to help you move forward in a brand new Kia. So don't wait any longer when you could be enjoying 2024 in a brand new Kia. Head over to Elk Grove Kia today in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or visit elkgrovekia.com. Your second chance awaits. New year, new you, new ride. Only at
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports. You're simply the best.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Thank you for being with us today. Together, we're figuring out whatever is going on with the Sacramento Kings. Thanks to Kyle Draper for joining us. By the way, Sean Cunningham from Fox 40 coming up in about 10 minutes. It's Whitey and Jay today. And this is remarkable, the fact that yesterday the Kings, after getting clobbered by the Pelicans, and by the way, Jay Ross said last night, and I agree with this, on the postgame, he said, 133 to 100. It didn't even seem like it was that close. But Mike Brown apologizing to fans. I apologize to fans who spent their money. How about that? That's remarkable. Apology accepted. What do you think if you're a Kings fan? And even if you didn't go to the game, even if you didn't go to the game, I think coach's apology applies to you. Here's Mike Brown after the game.
Not much to say. They flat out kicked our behind. One thing I do say, I feel sorry for the fans that spent their money coming and watch the game today. For us to perform that way and the lack of fight to whether it's get back in the game, stay in the game, however you want to call it, was non-existent. And it's going to be tough scoring when you have Keegan, Fox, and Malik go a combined 5 for 29. It's going to be a tough night. So give New Orleans a lot of credit. They came in here and they just flat out kicked our ass and did it for 4 quarters. And at the end of the day, like I said, you give them all credit. And I'm sorry, Sacramento fans, for coming and spending your money today.
Wow. Yeah, that was rough. By the way, I wonder if Mike Brown, in a way, is talking not only to fans, but maybe, in a way, he's talking to the front office. We got to do something. This is not acceptable. I mean, talking about a total lack of effort defensively. And that's the disappointing thing, of course. Kyle Draper just joined us. I think everybody, even if you thought, wow, New Orleans just has the Kings number. Jay, I think everybody thought the Kings at least will come out with some kind of effort. They'll be in the game for a while. They're going to show some determination here. And basically, the game started, they fell behind, and it was over like that in a blink of an eye. And that's what's most disappointing.
Absolutely. I mean, after getting dog walked the last few times against the Pelicans, you would have thought the Kings would have came in with something.
That's a team that knocked you out of the tournament.
I know. They came in, controlled the situation, and they've controlled the situation. They controlled just about every fashion of the game yesterday, and they for sure have done it over the last 4 games now against the Kings.
4 times.
I mean,
and it seems like it's getting worse.
It is, and it's almost one of those things where mentally the Kings look like they just know they can't beat the Pelicans right now, and they're acting like it. And you heard Drapes just talk about, it's almost like a little puppy, like, oh, we got in trouble. And, I put the analogy, when my daughter gets in trouble, one of the first things she asked me if, and she knows, like, getting in trouble compared to really getting in trouble, when she's really in trouble at school or something, it's the dad, are you disappointed in me, compared to like, Pop's just mad, I'm in trouble.
Well, that's the worst thing your parent can say, right? I'm not mad. I'm just
disappointed. Yeah, very true. Yeah. And honestly, with the Kings, I think it has reached that point, not for the year for a lot of people, but for against the Pelicans for sure. But I think yesterday, speaking of the roller coaster, and that's what Coach Brown is saying, and you've said, and Drapes, I've said, everyone is like, look, for you to go out there and put that effort, forth yesterday, y'all deserve to be booed. And the fact that I have to come out there and shell out the $200 to pull up, and like I said, man, it's the G1C is a beautiful situation. We're blessed and lucky because we have ins and outs, and we work in this profession. But I've said this, and this is one of my pet peeves with the Kings. and I don't even want to go down this road, but there are a lot of people in our community who has never even been to a Kings game because they can't afford it or whatever the situation is. There are a lot of people that may be their first, that may be their only time to go this year. And for y'all to go out there and get, like I said, smoke brisket. You guys smoked like brisket last night. Man, you deserve to be booed.
And for a team that's 21 and they were 21-13 before they lost yesterday, to have that happen to them at home, it is a little stunning, right? I mean, teams lose, teams have bad games, but for a team that's 21-13, they were, to go in there and just in a home game, playing a team that's behind them in the standings to have no chance. Here's a tip up, game's over. Right? That's what happened. So it's a little stunning, but to me, it just makes it crystal clear that this team, while they have maybe in some ways overachieved, I know we talked about that. They need to do something if they're going to maintain some level of being competitive in the Western Conference, especially with 12 of the next 14 on the road. Maybe I'm wrong, but to me, it's just you couldn't have a more clear sign when the coach is saying, we didn't compete and we're sorry about that, and you're non-competitive in a home game. Something needs to be done with this roster.
I think it's a good point in what you're saying, Whitey, in the fact of maybe Coach Brown is talking to a higher level. He's talking to something that's a little bit bigger in the fact of probably talking to, of course, taking it in face value, he was talking to the media, but at the same time, pretty sure he was sending a message to his players. And who knows? I think you're on to something in the fact that he was talking to, the powers that be is like, look, I'm trying. We're trying. And the team is trying. But maybe, and this is the toughest part of it all, sometimes you just have to look yourself in the mirror and understand we don't have it. We don't have the necessary parts for this car to run to the smoothest of the ability. Like, yeah, we're doing okay, but I want to put the spoiler on the back. I wish I had a moon roof. I want to throw some dubs, some 22s on that. I want a little slap in the trunk. I want some, I think.
Or I'm not going to be as fast as those other cars.
And there it was.
Yeah.
We're going to take some losses, and when we pull up to the stoplight, everyone's not going to pay attention as we're driving a Corolla, and that's cool. That's all right. It's dependable. We know it's going to get me from A to B, and I don't no disrespect to the folks that's rocking a Corolla, but I'm just saying, compared to pulling up in something a little more, flyer.
Yeah. My wife has it's a Camry hybrid. It's very sweet.
That's nice.
But yeah. Toyotas are great cars.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. We own one we have one in the repertoire. Yeah.
I got you.
You got to have a Toyota, man.
I agree with you. We were talking about who Mike Brown was sending the message to. And I agree with what you said earlier, which is, as far as his message to the players, I'm sure he had a totally different message for them before he came out and talked to
different tone, different pitch, different vernacular and diction. I'm pretty sure. Coach Brown had a whole different feel. He probably let it all loose. Then went to the hallway and woosah. Like, before I step on out here and answer these questions from the Whitey Gleasons of the world, let me go ahead and just act like all is well.
Yeah. And one of the reasons I think he may have been talking to the front office is because of something he said yesterday. I know I mentioned this earlier, and maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree, but just look at the evidence here. And I know I mentioned this earlier. Like I say, back in December, Sam Amick wrote that the Kings are focused on adding offense. He said, apparently they feel that with the defensive improvements, they're fine defensively. The Kings, when it comes to the roster, they're focused on adding offense. That was Sam Amick in The Athletic, the 18th of December. Yesterday, Mike Brown said, quote, if we think that we should just be an offensive team, and there is some of that thought amongst us, he said, that we should try to outscore people, you're in for a rude awakening. So the key to all that is, well, the thought amongst us, are you talking about the media? Are you talking about some of your players? Or are you talking about whoever told Sam Amick that we're focused on offense now? If we think we should just be an offensive team, and there is some of that thought amongst us, you're going to be in for a rude awakening in this league. That's Mike Brown. That's why I wonder if maybe he's talking to the front office.
Got a little different tone. The tone is a little different compared to just speaking, going out there.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think the Kings, are going to play to their strengths at this point,
which are
offense.
I hope
kind of
sometimes.
Right? Yeah. And
when they're making threes, there was a stat today that Styles and Watkins had. When they make 35% of the threes, the record's great. When they don't, it's not.
Yeah.
So,
I think the deficiency of what the Kings are is what everyone is clamoring and calling for, the help, the necessity, the need. Like, oh, we need help on defense. And even Drake said it right there. He was like, look, man, we need someone who's going to come in and set the tone, a tone setter on the defensive side, right?
Yeah.
And so definitely, but I also think part of their problem, and this is just me speaking on it, I think part of their problem is they're trying to be something that they're not, or don't have the proper pieces, or as Drake just said, like sooner or later we have to admit it that they don't have the proper pieces to be the team that they may want to be down the road. And that's okay, but stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to me. Stop lying to the Kings fans and say, look, we want to be a great defensive team. Yeah, we do. That's our goals and aspirations. It's okay to lay your head down at night on a pillow and have some goals and dreams, but we also got to come into reality. Like, yeah, I want to be a millionaire. I'm not there. I got to build myself. So that's my issue, Whitey. Like personally, like, listen, let's just go for what we got right now. And as these pieces hopefully come in through trade or draft, or Keegan taking the next step, Avion taking the next step, whatever you believe in, let's do what we do well right now, though. And I think that's part of the roller coaster ride with the Kings is they're trying to be something that they're not.
Yes.
They really are.
Yeah. Kings fans have questions. We have more answers from Fox 40's Sean Cunningham when we come right back. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing to keep the Grinch away from the toy drive.
Who's going to deliver the toys to the kids?
What about me, the Grinch?
No.
Yep, even easier than that.
You steal the presents one time.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One NA member FDIC. Copyright Dr. Seuss Enterprises. Copyright Turner Entertainment Company.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast. With a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Jay Johnson over there in for Drapes today. Drapes and I do the show tomorrow, a quick show tomorrow before the Kings take on Detroit. But Jay's a big college football guy, and even though this is the last game for a team, last game ever for a team from the Pac-12, Jay's not rooting for him. But I'll bet you our next guest is. I'll bet you he is. Nice enough to join us here. Huh?
What you wagering? Before he comes on, Big Sean comes on, we're wagering here.
Want to bet $10?
That'll work.
All right.
Apples.
Yeah. Fox 40 sports host, Kings insider, one of the great producers in the history of this station. Sean, how are you today, Sean?
I'm great. I'm fantastic. It's great to be with you guys, but all of a sudden I'm suddenly torn between how to answer this next question.
Just be real. Speak from your heart, Sean.
I just thought that maybe you heard. I thought, you know a lot of local guys that go to Washington, West Coast. You're a West Coast guy. You're pulling for the Huskies tonight. The final game by a Pac-12 team.
Yeah, I'm going to say if I had to pick a winner, it would definitely be the Huskies for that reason. But to be completely fair and honest, I I'm not a college football fan like at all. And
Okay.
To your point, Whitey, you know me because I've covered so many of these guys
Sure.
at all these schools, and there are a lot. That's what I pull for. I pull for those guys to do well. But if I'm being completely honest, I don't even have it on in the room.
Sean, what?
I know.
Yeah.
I was watching the
I think,
Tyrese Halliburton injury just a few minutes ago, and that was
Oh
a
my
little
goodness.
heartbreaking. Yeah, it was
What
pretty
happened?
tough. He went down. He got into the lane, hit a wet spot, legs kind of separated. It looked like he grabbed his hamstring. I mean, I don't want to play a doctor here, but he had to be carried off. He got up kind of under his own power, took a step, said nope, and his teammates carried him off the floor. Has a towel over his head, and it looks horrible, but fortunately, hopefully it's not that bad. But I was locked on that, unfortunately.
Speaking of looking horrible, what surprised you the most about yesterday, whatever that was, between the Kings and the Pelicans?
The surprise I think was I think there's a couple. I'd put Mike Brown's apology. It was very like Alvin Gentry-esque. I remember when Alvin Gentry took over for Luke Walton, and he had been hoping for better efforts and to really have those moments where they protect home court, or at least give a better effort on their home court. And so he would frequently apologize to the fans. So I thought that one was a little bit surprising. I think the surprise to me, I'd love to say it was surprising to see Keon Ellis up there at the podium. It wasn't. I'd like to say that it was surprising that the New Orleans Pelicans beat them by 33. It wasn't, because they beat them by 36 earlier in the season. I was expecting a better effort. I was talking to Domantas Sabonis 2 days ago after the win over the Raptors, where they held off that kind of closing run that Toronto had. And we were talking about like this moment about, hey, some of these games go a little bit the other way. You're looking at a skid here that's a little alarming. And he said, well, we got the Pelicans coming in, and we're already down 0-3 to them, and even though the season is lost and this team knows it, he was expecting a much better effort. And I know they'll say, and Domantas even said so, was, you can't get rebounds when they're going through the hoop.
Right.
But sure you can. Like, they didn't hit 100%.
It was 23-6 at one point, as you know, on the rebound. 23-6 at one point.
Yeah, and at halftime they had 9. And that was one shy of matching the franchise low. Look, I get what he's saying, and certainly that they were clicking on all cylinders, and they I had some people tell me Willie Green, the head coach, who he's still brand new at this as being a head coach, and he's saying, I wish I could play the Kings every game, just because they know they have their number. Yeah, just because they know that they have their number. So it's tough, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just a weird thing, because like, this team is still a really good record. It's actually on track to be better than last year. But what I've been saying over the past couple of weeks here is, yeah, you can get your head kicked in some of these games, and it's documented. You got 14 losses, 10 of them by double digits, 7 of them by 17 points or more, 2 of them to the Pelicans, 4 of them to the Pelicans, but 2 of them by plus 30 points. And you're looking at the way this plays out, and it's like, well, you're 21-14. The problem is, your problems that you experienced last year are your problems this year. And what you're good at last year, you're still good at, but you're not exceeding in the way that you did last year, which is hard, because as an offensive team, you were the best in NBA history.
Joined by Sean Cunningham, Fabulous Fox 40, Do It All reporter. Sean, one of the words that we've used on this show over the last few weeks is expectations. Like, expectations for this team and organization has changed. Have you seen, is that fair to say, from last year, which I believe, personally they overachieved, but the expectations of this year has definitely changed?
Yeah, I think it depends on who you ask. Certainly Mike Brown and company, the whole team, they've got championship expectations after not even winning a first round matchup last year. So look, every team is going to put really high expectations upon themselves. I think fans are hoping that the Kings can take a giant step forward and sustain a playoff run. I don't know that fans are expecting a championship realistically, or even the media, but you look at what they were able to accomplish and say, okay, I said it kind of before the season, I think you could finish a worse record in the standings than you did last year, maybe a 4th, 5th seed in the West. It's kind of where they're hovering around now. as long as you're avoiding that play-in tournament, you could still position yourself to have a very good playoff run. And I think that's what the ultimate goal is if you're trying to build this team, is to sustain postseason appearances and put yourself in position to be able to contend for a title. But make no mistake, like I don't think anyone realistically is looking at this team and saying that they're a championship caliber team. I think that's still the goal to get to. So to your point, yeah, I mean, are the expectations inflated? Sure, but I think it's good to have inflated expectations of the team. I mean, realize that last year you get your first taste of success in more than a decade, almost 2 decades, and now all of a sudden people expect the world from them. So it is a process, and it is an evolution, and this team, I think, wanted to address a lot of the needs that they had, but I think the minute they signed Domantas Sabonis to this early contract extension, it kind of limited what they were able to do. And if you look at some of the pieces that flew off the shelf, as I like to say, in the free agent market, they cost a lot of money for a lot of teams who overpaid. So I think they're happy with don't get me wrong, I think they're happy with what they have. I think they made a point of saying what they showed in the playoffs, especially on the defensive end, shown that this team is capable of being even an average defensive team when they want to be, but it's still, to sustain it over an 82-game season is tough. So, I think that, they're going to be aggressive. They're going to go out and they know what they need, and they have to go find it.
Sean Cunningham with us. And by the way, all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Tell us about the Siakam trade as far as you know and what you can share. How close did it come to happening? Is it an absolutely dead deal, or could it perhaps be revisited by the two clubs?
Yeah, I don't know that it was necessarily close. I mean, I think it's good that they've been talking. I think it's something that's been, they at least know what Sacramento is willing to offer. And certainly you have Toronto knows what they're looking for. And then, of course, you've got the Siakam factor, which is whether or not he would give a team like Sacramento any kind of tip of the cap to say, hey, I'd like to remain in Sacramento long term. So there's a few factors that are at play. I think, nothing is over. I mean, you're still over a month away. About a month away. Yeah, January 8th right now. So from the trade deadline. And I love the movie. Well, I don't love the movie, but I love the moment in the movie Draft Day when they're saying like, hey, we live in a different world than we did yesterday. The world has changed. And it's true. The landscape changes all the time. So is Sacramento the best deal that Toronto can get? I truly don't believe that it is for what they're willing to give up. But I also feel that, certainly nothing is over. I mean, you've got a trade deadline. I think from a Sacramento standpoint, if you were adding somebody like Pascal Siakam, you'd want to do it as quickly as possible, try to maximize his time in Sacramento if it is truly just a rental, and maybe give him that first look of what could be as he heads into free agency. But yeah, I certainly don't think anything is over, but the likelihood of him becoming a Sacramento King, I don't think is very high.
Sean, where do you lean on the side of the fence of Malik Monk should be starting compared to some people still believe he should be the sixth man, like Whitey?
I think it's absolute garbage. Okay, like if there's 3 players on this team that absolutely know, embrace, and love their role, it's Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, and Malik Monk. Malik Monk does not need to start. He's not going to Mike Brown every day saying, I need to start. He knows where his bread is buttered. He knows the role he plays for this team. And frankly, if you put him in the starting lineup, that doesn't mean he's better. That doesn't mean he's going to be better suited to have the type of impact that he does for the Sacramento Kings team. And I've said for over a year, in my opinion, he's the most important player on this Kings team. We know the role Domantas Sabonis plays. We know the role De'Aaron Fox plays. You can chalk them in for what they average every single night, and you know that going forward. But to me, when Malik Monk doesn't have a positive impact on his team, they kind of struggle to win the game. He's kind of their identity. He's a swagger. He's probably the most confident. What I think what he means to this team is so important. He embraces the fact that he comes off the bench. He embraces the people that he plays with. He knows the role he plays as a playmaker. I mean, let's face it, outside, they don't really have this playmaking point guard. And if you're putting all your playmakers, Monk, Sabonis, and Fox, all in the same rotation, which they actually play quite a bit to close games, it makes it a little janky in with your rotation. So, yeah, people get so tight, so much in the starting rotation. The guy played 44 minutes off the bench the other night. Had, damn near 40 points. I I think it's just kind of, beetle-headed when people think that it's, oh, you have to start your best players. It's like, no, you need a player like that off the bench. And as long as he's not making an issue of it, it's a non-issue.
We'll let you go. Two things, Sean. One, great save on draft day where you said, I love the movie. They said, no, I don't love the movie, but I like the moment in the movie. That was very, very well done. And then secondly, you said a few moments ago, I believe you said the Kings know what they need. Talked about the deadline. What do they need? What is it that the Kings know that they need? Whether they can get it or not is a different question. What do they need?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, they know where they're bad at, and I think what they need doesn't trickle down to just one player per se. Certainly, defensive help is there, but length, athleticism, those are the types of things that are just absolutely killing this team from the past season and a half, and certainly this season. I mean, I think it's even amplified this season. So, I've from what I've talked to people all the time, they may push back a little bit, but I think there's a. You look at even the Pascal Siakam situation, it's like you want a bona fide wing, a 3-and-D, somebody who's capable of getting you a bucket, but also not a slouch defensively. So, you've seen Zach LaVine rumors out there, and I'm going to be honest, there's interest in places in that organization in Zach LaVine. I mean, you can kind of know your history a little bit. This is a guy who not only had a pre-draft workout in Sacramento, but signed an offer sheet under Vlade Divac, who was a general manager. And we see Vlade Divac a lot sitting courtside at Golden One Center. So there is a interest with Zach LaVine, but at the same time, it's like, is it the right move to make? Is it an upgrade in any other position? Certainly Kevin Huerter has really been through his struggles. That's been pretty well documented. So I think it's a lot, but I don't think they're willing to throw away offense to capture some defense and capture some of those things. So I think it's in my opinion, I think their biggest need is right there at that starting wing position. You figure out that, Kevin Huerter that Keegan Murray is likely more of a stretch 4 than a true 3.
I know we're a little late here, Jay. Can I ask Sean one more question? I'm wondering what you think of this, Sean, and I don't mean to put you on the spot. I think this is interesting. I tweeted about this. Long story short, in The Athletic on the 18th of December, Sam Amick said, he talked to somebody with the Kings, and they're focused on offense, he said. They're focused on adding offense, adding shooting. And then last night, Coach Brown said, if we think that we should just be an offensive team, and there is some of that thought amongst us that we should just try to outscore people, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. Do you think there might be a little bit of a disagreement between the coach and the front office about how exactly to approach this deadline?
Yeah, disagreement. I mean, philosophical, maybe. I don't think it's reaching like a head or anything, but you're right. Like when he said that, it perked my ears up because, that shows that there are differing beliefs. I mean, I think there's differing beliefs within the roster itself. I mean, you saw that when the team started out, De'Aaron Fox goes down, Domantas Sabonis, they have like a team meeting. They lose those 2 games in Houston, and it's like, no, we need to get back to the way we were playing last year, where the ball's moving and the pace is up, and they tried. There are still times where they look like sometimes they're running in mud or they're dribbling the hell out of the basketball. But when they're at their best is when they're a free-flowing offense, equal opportunity, and they're just running. And you've got a Ferrari and Fox, and you're trying to utilize that. And so certainly, I think because there is proof in the pudding, there's people that believe that this is the way they're built, that this is the best way to do it. I can't blame Mike Brown though for thinking that recipe doesn't lead to success in the postseason, and building for the postseason and thinking that they can get better. And his whole mindset too is you're going from essentially a dead last off defensive team. If you could just crack the top 20, that could make a world of difference. So yeah, philosophically, I think there is some back and forth there, but I don't think it's anything to where, they're tipping over tables or anything like that.
Not yet anyway.
Not yet.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
John Cunningham, Fox 40. When we come right back, what do the Kings need? Who do the Kings need? Bring them all in. Why not? Next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
The Triad Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Looking at the NBA standings, isn't it interesting to think how much differently this whole thing could look when April rolls around, when we finally get to the playoffs? Take, for example, the Warriors. They're 11th right now, 7-19, struggling, but they're getting Draymond Green back. Jay, I wish Draymond the best. We've talked about Draymond. I hope that he's able to figure out whatever he's dealing with. But it just makes me sick to my stomach. I'm tired of him already, and he isn't even back yet because he
You tired?
Yeah. He observes his return with a new episode of his podcast. That's fine. That's smart marketing. But now he's got this story about how the commissioner of the NBA talked him out of retiring. And I'm just like, I'm just so sick. I told him, Adam, this is too much for me. This is too much. It's all becoming too much for me. I'm going to retire. And Adam said, you're making a very rash decision. I won't let you do that. And I'm at it. No, shut up.
You're over it. You're already over it.
I'm really sick of that. I think what it is, it's Draymond in a way. You look at the things he did, and I hope he gets help. But it's like, poor me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I did these, but look at poor.
Absolutely poor him.
I almost retired, and the commissioner talked. Thank you, commissioner.
Yeah. Is it the thought of Draymond and the storybook to Draymond that you're over, or are you just seeing Draymond in a whole? Like as far as the basketball player,
I just think he's overexposed, and he's a smart marketer. But I remember when he came back from after he punched Jordan Poole. Do you remember there was like TNT did almost like a documentary on it, and it was weird, and they aired it, and people said that's wrong. And this thing now, again, I think he used the occasion of his return to announce he had a new season of his podcast, and it's like, just maybe be a little more self-aware, take the whole thing a little more seriously, and try to do something other than paint yourself as some kind of victim. But you know what? When he returns, assuming it's going to be his first game at the Chase Center, I mean, standing ovation. I guarantee you he'll get a standing ovation.
He's going to get a standing O?
Yeah, don't you think? For what? I don't know exactly, but he'll get a standing ovation.
I'm not sure he gets a stand. Yeah, well,
he will.
He's going to get something. You're right.
And again, wish him the best. That's fine. But oh my goodness, I'm just tired of all the drama of Draymond. I can't remember if it's you or Drake.
Yeah.
You want it? Would you take him here if you could?
I would. Yeah, I would take him. I would definitely take Draymond.
Well,
I would take
after
Draymond.
Yesterday, how could anyone say no?
Yeah, very true. I think he brings exactly what the Kings need. And I think, Mike Brown, having been around him, would know how to handle him as well.
Yeah.
And I think the other part of it too is whenever Draymond, if he does, moves to a different team, there's going to be a precedent that's a different set of rules that Draymond is going to have to understand and work around, because Golden State, he's just comfortable. He's doing what he needs to do, and no one's, reprimanding him. I think when he goes somewhere else, and depending on where he goes, someone's going to say, look, we don't operate that way.
Right.
So you're going to have to get it together there, Draymond. So right. I think it might be a great look for him to go somewhere else, to be completely honest. I would accept Draymond as a player. I understand when you're talking about like over the soap opera, the storybook, the situation. He's doing it. Yeah. He's doing it. As you said, he's already got the TNT deal. He's already got the podcast situation. So
and good for him.
They're making money on it. They're making money. But I get what you're saying. Look, I mean, he is being force fed in many ways.
Mm-hmm. Being crammed down our throats.
Yes. And for him to say, and I don't know, maybe look. Let me start.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory?
Do I think he had? No.
Here's the theory, and it doesn't quite hold up, but because we don't necessarily care for the Warriors, I'll give it to you anyway. The theory is, Chris Paul breaks his hand. Next thing you know, Draymond's back. Why? Because the NBA wants the Warriors in the playoffs. Now, in fact, Draymond was tracking towards coming back about this time anyway, but some have pointed out that, isn't that interesting timing? Chris Paul's out, Draymond's back. Just telling you.
Probably goes hand in hand. You're probably right with the situation.
That's what Summers, I'm not buying it, but it's an interesting theory.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I like where you're going with that.
The league does want the Warriors in the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. Why? I mean, come on now. Why wouldn't they? Yeah. Steph Curry alone is going to be a payoff for them in the playoffs.
He had another game in which he didn't make a three.
I know.
It's like, he didn't have any for 200 whatever games now, 2 in the last month.
What's going on? The house is falling down.
Yeah.
It may be over, Hova. I can understand where a lot of people are over the Draymond Green situation. He hasn't made no friends with the way he's handled it. The way the NBA has handled it hasn't probably been the best. I'm with you, man. Look, if it don't work, it don't work. And I guess at this point, they still consider it to be, it does.
Mm-hmm.
It's still working.
Yep.
So they're going to continue to let it roll, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. By the way, now in the Kings, the trade deadline, at this point, after yesterday, anybody, I'm okay with anybody. Jeremy Grant, okay, fine. Zach LaVine, fine. What about Siakam? Yeah, bring in Siakam. What about DeJounte Murray? I've lost my, before it's like, well, I was much more discerning, and now I just feel like we need somebody, something.
You're looking for anybody at this point.
Shake things up. Let's do it.
Yeah, you're just looking for anybody at this point.
Yeah,
I got you.
I'll feel differently, but right now, fine. Who do you got? Kuzma. Let's go. Bring him on. Yes, I want to.
You're
see
ready
it.
to try anything.
Yes.
I get it. No problem.
When we
Draymond.
come back, yes.
Okay. All right. As long as you with that too.
Yeah, I could wear earmuffs or whatever, so I don't have to listen to poor Draymond.
Well,
I almost
you
retired.
getting ready to.
The commissioner talked me out.
Man, leave that money. He wasn't leaving $100 million on the table.
He wasn't.
Draymond just talking.
That was like LeBron last year. Remember? Well, I don't know. He could retire. Oh, we lost.
Yeah, you ain't leaving that $50 million on the table, LeBron. Stop lying.
When we come back, get ready for the best 2 football weekends of the whole year. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay partly cloudy tonight with overnight lows near 40. During the day tomorrow, we'll see a couple of light showers in the morning with dry weather for the afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The new year is here at Folsom Lake Kia. Shop my favorite dealer, Folsom Lake Kia, for low interest rates, low payment with 0 down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia for over 25 years right here in Sacramento.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get to the action in Toyota's all-new Tacoma,
Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, seminars, and show info. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2023 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good times spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey everybody, it's Kyle Draper, your boy Drapes for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now, if you've been on the fence about buying your first electric luxury car, it's time to get off the fence and go see my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I'm challenging you. Test drive any Mercedes-Benz fully electric car or SUV and you will fall in love. In fact, my new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV is out in the parking lot right now. You know, I had a Tesla before this, but once I got the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, it felt like a brand new driving experience. It's on an entirely different level. Now, here's what I love about my EQS SUV. First of all, from the moment I sit in it, I feel like I'm stepping in a world of luxury. Plus, it's easy charging, and it has heated seats and cooling seats as well. It's an ultimate driving experience. I urge you, go see my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They're just 30 minutes from Sacramento. They're right off of I-5. Or, of course, you can always go online at mbfstockton.com.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
The Drive Guys, live and local. Every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Hope you're ready for the best football weekend of the year, of the whole year. Super Bowl, Schmooper Bowl. It's all about this weekend. Before we get to that, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Mitch has been hanging on. Hey, Mitch, you're on with the Drive Guys. Thanks for hanging. What's on your mind today?
How's it going, Whitey? Jay, thanks for my call. Happy New Year to you guys and families.
Thank you.
Hey, I wonder if the Kings, let's say, manuscript, you want to say like that, the 49ers, nothing to play for. Rest your stars or just take it easy. Yeah. That's how it seems.
Yeah.
I think they got to make a trade. They got to get a score. You got to take a place from the 49ers. They need Chris McCaffrey. They need to go off the Trey Lance when they had Jimmy, and then take also Purdy.
Yeah.
They got to give themselves another scorer, and you retire some of the big men that sit on the bench too much. I think it's, like you said, athletic, but like New Orleans has a big team, and Zion wasn't even playing.
Right. Yeah.
So thanks for taking my call.
Oh, thank you, Mitch. Yeah. At this point, last week I would have said, no, I need defense. Right now, I'm like, Jay, that's okay. Anybody. Yeah. If he makes me better in any which way, fine. Bring him in. Yeah. Levine, it costs a lot of money. I don't care. It's not my money. Let's go.
You're ready to go. Step on the gas.
Let's go. Now, I don't know about you, but I always enjoy this weekend and the next weekend of the NFL playoffs more than any other weekend of the whole year.
Yes.
Okay. It's almost like the football version of March Madness, right? Because you got, you win, you advance, lose, you're out. Saturday, we've got Cleveland at Houston. And then that's 1:30 our time. And then at 5 our time, we got Miami at Kansas City, although that's going to be streamed exclusively on Peacock. Yeah.
I have it.
Yeah. And then
Sunday.
Sunday.
To the wife.
Yeah, I got, yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday, we got Steelers, Bills. We got Packers, Cowboys. We got Rams and Lions. There's every reason to think some of those might be pretty decent games. Sometimes you get blowouts first weekend of the postseason. And then Monday, the Eagles in Tampa Bay. This is great, right?
Right. I love it. I mean, anytime you can get all these games every single day where it feels like it. Well, let me say this, Whitey. This is the great part of being on the West Coast is when by the time you pretty much wake up, football's on, and by the time, evening's over, football's still on. And so I love that.
Yeah.
And when Saturday there's games, Sunday there's games, and you get the Monday night game.
Right.
I'm all for it. Plus you have a little basketball mixed in between. Oh man, you can't go wrong with that.
Next weekend has always been my all-time favorite because I think you get a lot of games and they should be better teams playing. So these next 2 weekends, I love next weekend especially. But, the Super Bowl is great, but you know how it is if you're a real fan. And you're watching. There's people that watch that don't know anything about it and don't care, and they're talking when you're trying to watch a game. And, it's just different.
It's a party.
Yeah, and that's fine. But some of us just like football. Jay, if you could pick who's going to be in the Super Bowl, if Goodell called you up and says, we can arrange it. I can't tell you how we do it, Jay, but who do you think would be the best matchup for us? What's the best? Who would you want to see in the Super Bowl? What two teams?
Oh, well, as a 49er fan, I'd take the Niners, and then I'd probably say
and not necessarily because you want to make it easy for the Niners.
Yes, that's where I'm going.
I know. That's why I said, whoa.
You might want to ask that question again then.
The best game. What do you think would be the best game?
I was going to say Niners, Steelers.
Yeah, I know.
Niners, Bills.
Yeah.
Niners, Bills. I mean, we're talking about best game. As much as I'd like to see Baltimore, I'd probably say Niners, Bills, because the Bills Mafia, they're crazy, man.
Don't you want to beat the Chiefs, though, too? It's kind
I
of
don't care about the Chiefs. I don't care about them. I don't even want them to ever get to the playoffs again. Forget them.
Well, too late for that.
Yeah, I know. I hope they get ran out the park by Miami.
I have this weird feeling that the surprise team of the postseason is going to be the AFC 5 seed, the Cleveland Browns.
You really liking the Browns, huh?
I love their defense, and I could just see the 49ers, and here they are in the Super Bowl facing Joe Flacco.
Man, that'd be sweet revenge twice.
Yeah.
Beat him for the Baltimore win and against the Browns this year, which they shouldn't have got.
Yeah. For Joe Flacco, it's like, I'm not even supposed to be here.
Yeah, he just
can't lose.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Don't fling it. Yeah.
The point is one side being the Niners.
Yeah.
How about that?
I got you.
Okay.
I understand that.
We can agree on that. I'm good.
Yeah. And you think the best game would be the Bills and the Niners?
Yeah, I think the best game would be. Yeah. Give me the Bills, Niners. Josh is.
I think
Josh is exciting, and again, the Bills Mafia. They love their Bills. The Niner fans are crazy.
But what happens to the Bills if they lose the Super Bowl again?
I don't know, because at that point I would be celebrating.
Have you ever heard the story of the fourth time they played the Cowboys? Well, they didn't play the Cowboys all 4 times in the Super Bowl, but they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the fourth time.
Yeah, and they're winning at halftime, and I think Troy Aikman said, we go in there in the locker room, and you could see we were losing, but you look at them. They already knew they were going to lose. Yeah,
I have not heard that before.
Yeah. All right, Jay. You and I are back together on Thursday, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening. We are back tomorrow. Kyle Draper and our Drive Guys on Sactown Sports. Have a pleasant evening.
By Marriott, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working toward your championship dreams or your team